Hey everyone, so I was on mute. How's everyone doing? This is my post-birthday stream, as I explained in the comments down there. I spent most of my day with my sister, and we had a good time just sitting around, just chilling, watching the animes, watching Hajime no Ippo, boxing anime. So it's a boxing one, so you know that I'm still full of testosterone, full of vigor, that I'm an alpha male, a Chad, if you will. Or a Tyrone, since I'm, you know. Like I spent most of my day with myself. Can we see? Sorry, I just loading this up. Who messaged me? What kind of dead man messaged me? It'd be nice if this would actually load up, YouTube. Thank you. Forgot to put a reminder on my own stream. I am too young to be Vince the GOAT. I don't know what a GOAT is, but I know I'm the greatest. No. Yeah, this is the soundtrack for the indie game Next Door. And Next Door is it's pretty short. It's a I don't know if you can see it. Hold on, let me take myself off screen. Before I do that, I only put myself on screen to establish something. we're going to be reading Jeff the Killer stories on the official Jeff the Killer Wiki. So, because of that, I thought that I needed to be properly suited up to do so. Because honestly, the thought of doing this sober is just... No, I ain't having it, man. So I got me some... This right here. Got my rum chata shot glass, the one that has a double, like, sided thing, if you can see it right here. And I got this, which I have graciously put it into the Crystal Head's vodka bottle that I had emptied out like months ago. And that's apple cider, so I'm going to be mixing it. And hopefully things will be kind of passable enough, I guess, to not warrant me destroying my liver, but it's one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everything is slow and everything sucks. Can anyone hear me properly? Am I coming in clear? I hope so. That'll be very embarrassing. Okay, let me just... Oh, thanks for the happy birthdays in chat, by the way. Tim Valencia. Tim, holy shit, Tim, what the fuck? Where have you been? I haven't seen you in a long time. How you been? I don't know who doesn't know. Me and Tim Valencia actually have a... Did I put it up or did I ever take... I don't even remember if I took it off private. There was a video that Tim Valencia and I did of... I think it was like some stupid... It was a creepypasta that was based off of the Eiffel 40 band. And the fact that the song was based off of them visiting the Congo and getting inspiration from these people who a former bandmate fell in the fire or some shit, and the cannibals were chanting eat, burn the body, eat the body, and like, oh, abadi abada is backwards for burn the body, eat the body. I'm not fucking around. That's actually what they were trying to put out there. That was actually an actual theory. So that was fun. I remember that. Yeah, Such Words, I think it was called. Was it Such Words? Hold on, let me get my fat head off the screen. But first, let's take a first shot. As you can see, very delicate. I'm very ginger with this because I'm a gentleman. First and foremost, I'm a very dignified sort. As you can tell with my striped Charlie Brown shirt. My Chris Chan shirt. No, it can't be a Chris Chan shirt because the sleeves ain't long. What are you all saying? See Bean Daddy Dale talking some shit in here. Hey! Alright, let's do this. I stopped watching Koreans react to 10,000 pounds. Are you talking about the... Oh, God. The Slatton sisters? Yeah. That train wreck's even too much even for me to poke fun at, to be honest. Okay, here we go. Cheers to good health, which is why I'm downing this. Oh, that is good. That is good. I love Fireball whiskey. I was kind of disappointed because people like made it out to be like some kind of, oh, it's gonna burn your fucking testicles off or whatever. But it's just really good. It's really sweet, spicy whiskey. Oh, I want to take that border away. I worked hard to make this shitty, spooky border here. So again, let's take me off screen. Oh, I'm still on screen technically. Damn it. I can't win. I got low tier energy, low IQ energy going on here. Let's turn that off. Okay, so yeah, as we say again, go and pay this guy some visit. Visit Clement Ponchout, I think how you pronounce his name. His stuff is really good. The soundtrack for this like very short indie game is really good. And I don't think he gets nearly enough love. He also did work for Murder House, which is a pretty popular indie game right now. The Puppet Combo. I loved it, Puppet Combo to death. So we're going to just close out of that right now. And here we are on the official Jeff the Killer Wiki, also the Just Kittens Wiki. Uh, I don't know if this is the product of laziness or what, the fact that the background has not been changed, or maybe the whole thing about it being hacked and having the background changed was bullshit, and that was just an excuse to put the kittens on the background, which, to be honest, I don't have an issue with. I mean, I would rather have this adorable little thing in front of my face when I'm trying to read instead of Jeff the Killer's like grinning mug, since I'm going to be seeing it all over the place. Okay, I'm just reading the chat here. To be fair, only one of the sisters is an absolute train wreck. The other one's taking it seriously. It's been a long time since I've kept up with that. I think I heard at one point that one of them has been like trying to like lose the weight. Like, I don't know. At some points, like, you can only make so many excuses, you know. Because it's not so much. I can't say get an issue, because if you're like about like, I don't know, like 1,000 pounds, and you readily accept, like, you know, I'm not long for this world. I don't care. Like, I'll accept whatever comes. Like, I can't tell you shit. Like, you, like, that's a executive decision on your part. You know what I mean? Like, that's a declarative statement. But when people are like, oh, I'm in so much pain and I cry at night because I know I'm not, like, but I'm not talking about the people who have a condition that makes it like much harder for anyone else to lose weight. I'm mostly talking about the people who know that are not happy with being that weight, and the only thing that's stopping them from losing it is effort. And again, I'm not making blanket statements. I'm not saying every fat person on the earth is lazy and not willing to put the effort in. Everyone's body is different, but the specific ones who don't put in the effort needed to actually get the results they want are the people I have an issue with. Right now, I'm trying to lose weight, and I'm not really doing as much as I reasonably can, to be honest. Like, I'm going on 400, damn. And I do like, I used to do kettlebell exercises. I fucked up my back one day, and I'm actually kind of scared to start doing it again because I'm afraid I'm going to re-injure myself. Because that fucked me up for like 2 weeks, and now I'm doing like a exercise bike, which is like, I do like 6 miles a day, and I honestly don't even think that's much. Sorry, though. I don't even know where the stream is relative to what I'm saying, to be honest. Also, Jane the Kill is not the same as Jane the Kill from one from Jane the Kill True Story. Yeah, that's a mistake. I want to make a correction right here and now. I already did it in the first video. The part one of the last Bad Creepypasta videos. I feel the need to correct it because it was a misconception that was kind of on my shoulders because I had kind of unintentionally given them bad information. When we first read the Jane the Killer story, the one we read originally for the channel, I had kind of brought it to their attention. I brought to the attention to Mr. Angry Dog's weird Nazi chic. I showed him the DeviantArt and whatnot, and I, like, the both of us assumed, well, both of us being me and the Bad Creepypasta crew, assumed that was the same person. That's not the case. The story that we read was not made by Mr. Angry Dog, who is the one who made this story, which is the first thing of Jane the Killer, I think. I think this came before anything else. I think this is what it was inspired by. And then the Jane the Killer story that came afterwards with Jane Richardson, you know, the last one that they read was the second story. The Jane Arkansas story was the third one, or I think they came roughly around the same time, or maybe the Jane Arkansas one. Because I remember, I don't know if he deleted it because Mr. Angry Dog kind of spurred out and deleted a lot of shit off of his I guess his DeviantArt page, a fair amount of the interactions, because he would I think he hounded the guy who made Jane Arkansas. Yeah, Pasta Stalker 64. And no, he hounded her, by the way. Like, he said, like, oh, like, I don't. But to be fair, if I'm being generous, I think that he didn't know that she was like 14, but he was like in his late 20s, and he was saying shit like, "Oh, you stole my character, and like, you're lucky I don't find where you are and beat your ass." Like imagine a 20. I think he was 28 or 26 at the time. someone in his late 20s who's like 6'8", threatening a fucking 14-year-old girl over an internet story. Like, I don't know, it's pathetic. I don't know if he gets into any shenanigans nowadays. I don't keep up with him as much as I used to. Also because I don't really go on DeviantArt that much, because like I've considered going on to DeviantArt to kind of cover the fact that it's a den of degeneracy and weirdness, but at the same time it's like it's just it doesn't feel fair. You know what I mean? I don't believe in that whole I'm punching down or some stupid shit like that. I just think that the lowest hanging fruit is like I don't get any gratification in making fun of people who obviously have no real frame of reference as to what good storytelling is or what quality narrative weaving constitutes, or what how these boys make creepypasta versus creepypasta. They're not superheroes. They're awful stories on the internet. I think theoretically you can make it work, because, I mean, you could literally apply that to like modern day like horror icons with well, I say modern day, but horror icons like Jason versus Freddy, and I really dig that film, even though the human parts kind of annoy the shit out of me. But the main character screams too much, and all she does is flinch and like whimper most of the movie until the very end. Besides that, I think I think it's a fine movie, and it shows that it can work. Although, and this is something that me and Jacob, I think, had a back and forth at one point. I will never accept Alien versus Predator. The first one, it wasn't that bad. The first one was actually pretty good, given the how little it had to work with and how quickly it was made. But I don't know. I just can't. I can't dig it. I can't morally get behind it. I'm an upstanding citizen, as I've mentioned innumerable times on my channel. Okay, let me just play some spooky background music. There we are. I don't know if you guys can hear it. So yeah, we're going to be reading a few Jane the Killer stories. And I can't think of a drinking game. I'm just going to drink whenever I feel like it. This is Jane's letter, aka Jane the Killer. And this was, again, the first Jane the Killer story. Penned by one Mr. Angry Dog. And normally, I'm going to abstain from going onto his DeviantArt. I think I've harassed him enough, and I'm not here to like shit on anyone specifically, unless they do something that I find abhorrent. In which case, I have no problem shitting on them. I was on two of my friends, and two of us mentioned how stupid DeviantArt was. My other friend never heard of it. I downloaded the first image they saw was a fat Zero Suit Samus. That sounds about right. Maybe they make Jeff the Killer a better story instead of him going after girls. Jane made interesting because it draws the idea of the Jane Doe. Oh, that could be interesting. Okay, let's get into this. On a hot summer night, around 4:33 in the morning, as Just the Killer took another victim, this time a young wife, and also leaving her husband with a massive skull fracture as a result of blunt force trauma. The only one to survive was the couple's 4-month-old baby. Month-year-old. Okay. Let me just... I think the problem is that I'm not drunk enough. Well, I'm not drunk at all, so I guess that's the issue. Maybe I'll be... it's like how people... Like, I get more coordinated when I drive after I've drunk 40 shots of vodka. I noticed you're whoring. It's just I can't ignore this for as long as I want, homie. You can't stop me. You can't tell me shit. You can't tell me shit about shit, homie. And I plugged you when you were fucking on your thing. You and Bean Danny Mandela. I forgot what you... What was it that... Oh, Empress Teresa. I remember now. I plugged y'all. So don't tell me shit about shit. Or else I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, you shithead. See, that was poetic right there. Yeah, okay. Alright. Don't make fun of me being Daddy Mandela. I'm here to laugh at other people's expense. That doesn't mean... What the fuck is this? Hold on, this isn't about kittens. Hold on. Hi. Hi guys, so I googled the wiki and I clicked to see kittens, but if you look more, you can see things like Jeff the Killer and studies of cat can't sleep, help me. Yes, this is a joke. I guess they never got around to fixing this shit. The only one to survive was the couple's 4-month-old baby. And why is that in, like, why is that, like, those little separators things? I guess, not brackets. Got the slash there. What's a word for that? Minus symbols? I think it's just, you don't need those. You can just mention the baby's 4 months old. The police have discovered crying in its crib, along with the child. Police have found a letter, which was written on the back of a paper grocery bag in a black Sharpie marker, and a Motorola droid faintly illuminated under the baby's blanket. The babysitter, who was locked in the closet during the time, claimed that she smelled the lingering odor of a woman's cheap perfume and found body glitter on the baby's crib. But who was it from? Police were able to decipher the writing on the grocery bag, and here's what it said. Oh, sorry, look at that. Photo found on droid phone. That's like the most weird, shameless promotion I've seen in a long time. Jeff. Oh, sorry. Jeff, if you're reading this, no matter how many innocent victims you claim, no matter how much blood you see, Jacob, this is how you do this fucking voice. You took that away from me. That was mine. And you took it. And not only that, you watched idly by as Jane the Killer snapped my neck in that story. Some fucking friend you are. I'm still coming for you in the end. All of the men and women you so viciously slaughtered and disemboweled. I beat you to it. I killed them not because I hate them. I imagined those victims were you as I look into their eyes. It was a mere vision of you that made me kill them. I never did like you, you greasy-haired, grinning, smug, arrogant son of a biatch. My black eyes may look like I am void of vision, but you mean devoid? Fuck. You mean devoid of vision? But I'm not stupid. Just remember, the night you creep onto a poor girl's bedroom, you're gonna fall head over heels down the fucking stairs with your guts caught on the broken glass of the window I smashed you into. Tonight, when I reach you, evil will battle evil. Winner kills all. And the only one who will not get out of this alive is you. I'm coming for you. Sleep well. Signed, Jane the Killer. So yeah, that was the first ever Jane the Killer story. It's exactly as bad as you would imagine it to be. I don't think you can see any comments on this. It's funny because I think it's fair to say that Jeff the Killer is still reasonably popular within the kind of weird, section of the internet that still cares about creepypasta. But I don't know many people who still go onto this website. To be fair, I think they probably fucked off to places like Wattpad and shit like that. I was considering going on to Wattpad for this video, but nah, this too, again, low-hanging fruit, and most of that shit is like, Jeff the Killer is just fucking people. Fucking you. Like you've always wanted. Okay, Jeff the Killer explanation. Finally, I would like to get some explanation for Jeff the Killer. Okay. Nah, I'm looking for stories, brother. Who wrote this? Is Mr. Ring? Please tell me it's Mr. Ring. Oh my god, this is so long. Is this... Okay, I just read that one line. And I'm reading this shit right now. Yeah, the cesspool that still likes creepypasta. I've read good creepypastas on the channel too. It's just that I think is the problem is the issue with the concept of like fandoms become very toxic over time. I don't know how. It just happens. It all happened 5 years ago. 5 miserable, heart-wrenching, painful years since Jane Arkansas became who she is today. She became a victim, an avenger, on the brink of insanity. She was 13 when her once normal life began to plummet into an abysmal cesspool of fear, anger, and bloodshed. By the way, this isn't canon because it's Arkansas. And it's not Nick Richardson. So we're going to immediately just throw this into the garbage once we're done, regardless of how good or bad it may be. Jane is a young adult, nearing her 18th birthday. Most girls her age would have normally been able to celebrate that arrival into adulthood with their friends and family. But not Jane. Her family and friends were gone, dead, decaying in their graves. And only one single, insane, animalistic, maniacal madman was responsible for Jane's loneliness. Oh, that's a weird way to phrase it, like, only one of them. Like, Jane's big problem is that, look, couldn't have had at least... Look, I know you're going to kill my parents. Like, couldn't have had at least 2 arch nemesis? Yeah, there we go. That's what I think of you. That's what I think of the story. Jeffrey Allen Woods, all otherwise known as Jeffrey Woody Allen. I mean, people, you know, there was some whisperings around Hollywood that he's into some shit. I mean, you marry your adopted daughter one moment, and then the next thing you know, I'm just saying, like Macaulay Culkin, we didn't let him around Jeffrey Woods for a reason. Okay, I'm just gonna put this right here. I'm not gonna drink it yet, but I will if this story gets particularly painful. It's on Mio's Bandcamp. Mio is the guy. If you've ever watched any of Mr. Creepypasta's videos, like there was a point in time where I was a fan of his, and he had put a lot of music from Miu back there. Miu was his stuff is I think he puts his stuff on a Creative Commons, so he can basically use it in his videos, like, as long as you give him like a credit for it. And that was a music that was kind of synonymous with Mr. Creepypasta's videos for a long time. Or I think it's Miu, like the whole name is Miuji. Hold on, I can bring it up right now actually. Miuji. You can see my search history right there. Mark Hunt walk-offs. That doesn't mean anything because, like, according to Macaulay, I don't know how much. Like, I'm speaking from a real place here. I don't know how much of the allegations against Michael Jackson that I actually buy into. To be honest with you, I'm not even someone who was like an avid defender of his, and I wasn't even the biggest fan. It's just, I don't know. The Hollywood cesspit kind of makes me question it all. Okay, yeah, here you go. You can find it on his Bandcamp. You can find it on his official website. And there was a point, because I had he used to not have it on Bandcamp initially. Like, I had his music back way before he, I guess, monetized it. Because I think he put it all on one single website. And it was before they even had, like album art. Like, that was back when Mr. Creepypasta, I think, was just gradually taking off. But yeah, I don't, like, kind of the Michael Jackson shit. Like, the thing that made me kind of question also is that Macaulay also went on record saying that Michael was, like, very protective of him when it came to, like, being around certain people whenever they were, like, in each other's company. And that said, I don't know, it says something to me. Like, that kind of, it kind of, like, ticks a nerve on you where you start thinking, When Michael Jackson is protecting a child from certain people, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna say anything like definitive, but my gut is telling me when it comes to Michael Jackson that I think that for the most part, maybe he was like innocent of what a fair amount of what he was accused of, but he was so psychologically damaged as it was, it got to a point where even he doesn't know whether or not it's true or not. And that shit like that happens. Like with people who get gaslit into thinking that they're guilty of crimes they weren't even around for. Where were we? We're reading some Jane the Killer shit. Oh, fuck. Jane is a young adult. Okay. When Jane was 13, she met Jeff for the first time in her life. At the time, she thought little about him. But they still talked. No, they didn't. I remember the story that preceded this one. This is a Jane Arkansas universe. They didn't talk until Jeff came back all mutilated. In fact, I don't even think that she so much as interacted with him once. She looked at him one time out the window and saw him like push. I don't think Michael was inappropriate to every kid he was buddy with, but I don't think it's a coincidence that famous kids like Macaulay and Feldman weren't touched by him. You think that the amount of fame means anything when it comes to children being molested? Shit. Well, let me put it to you like, I'll rebut that. I don't think it's a coincidence that, okay, like of all the young girls in like that go through Nickelodeon that came out whole, the one person that seemed to come off better than anyone else without like having a mental breakdown was fucking what was it, Zoe Spears? Britney Spears' younger sister. And she had to get pregnant at like as a teen to break out of that. Which is, again, I'm not saying that's a good thing, but when that's the most, like, when that's a light at the end of the tunnel for you, then it says something about it. Like, I think there's something going on there. And then there was that one girl recently that used to be on All That, who, you remember, like, it wasn't too long ago, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, where she came out and said that she was abused on set. And then, you know, she didn't shame anyone for, she didn't shame anyone for like being fans of All That. Like, look, I'm not trying to take it like away your enjoyment, but this is what legit happened to me. And then I didn't hear a single thing about it afterwards, and it made me upset. Like, I liked All That as a kid, but I'm not gonna no, it wasn't Amanda Bynes. It was a black chick. It was like some black actress who, like, she had like a public thing where she came out and talked about being on the set of All That and shit going down. And I was upset because it never got followed up on. I love movies. I love TV shows. I don't love a TV show or any TV show or movie enough to, you know, turn a blind eye to someone who desperately needs help. You know what I mean? Fuck them. I don't give a shit if I never can have to watch get to watch an episode of All That again. But if that girl gets her story out and is actually legit, and, you know, you can find who's responsible, I would rather have that than, you know, fucking, oh, I won't be able to watch All That anymore. Eat my ass. Oh yeah, Mind the Binds. She was so cute, wasn't she? Such a cute little girl. Then Dan Schneider, I don't know, he did something. I'm just saying. Where were we? At the time, she thought little of him. But now, she can't get Jeff out of her head. His burnt flesh. Seemingly unblinking. What do you mean? No, not seemingly unblinking eyes. They are unblinking because he burnt his fucking I'm about to say eyelashes. He burnt his fucking eyelids off. So he literally can't blink. So they're not seemingly unblinking. He cannot blink. His jet long black hair, his curved smile that had been branded and burned into Jane's fragile mind since the traumatizing night those daunting 5 years ago. The night it happened was cold, wet, and had an atmosphere that made people aware that something seemed like it was something that seemed like something that would have been documented in an urban legend was destined to occur at any given moment. That was gibberish, and you should be ashamed of yourself for putting pen to paper to articulate that. Jane was alone at home, minding her own business, when she peered out of her bedroom window and noticed Jeff, who had just gotten out of the intensive care at the local hospital after being burned with vodka and bleach 4 weeks before, was staring at what... Oh, sorry. Okay. Was staring at Jane through the bathroom window. He was smiling at Jane, but not with a normal friendly stare. He was smiling at her like Ed Gein just after making a brand new skin suit out of his latest victim. You don't know if Ed Gein smiled after that. Look, you better put some respect on Ed Gein's name. Don't drag him into this. You can't prove that he was smiling. Okay? I'm gonna speak up on Ed Gein's behalf. He may have been a fucking psychotic, murderous piece of shit, but I will not have you misrepresenting him. Jane immediately got creeped out as Jeff's psychotic smile and then quickly looked away. I read the first story. You can't whitewash how she reacted. I was there. Like, I was there when it all was happening in person in the story. I read the story. I read it, and she fucking fainted because she's a coward. What? When she slowly peered back at the window, she caught a glimpse of what appeared to be fresh, pure red blood smudged across the same window that Jeff had been staring from. Jeff was also unable to be seen. Jane then realized that something bad had happened, and that there was going to have to be no peace and quiet for her. Going to have to be no peace and quiet. Okay. Alright. Oh yeah, it's not Gein. Like, it's spelled Guyan. I don't know. Okay, yeah, it's not Ed Gein. They I don't think it's mispronounced. Maybe it's like just a different guy named Ed Guyan or Gian. Ed Gian. I don't know anything about Ed Gein, so maybe he smiled when he did his skin suit. I don't know anything about that dude. Jane, where was I? She bolted out of her bedroom down the stairs. She didn't remember that her parents had gone over to Jeff's home to have dinner with his mother and father. The batteries in Jane's phone were dead, and her home phone had its lines cut for over a month ago. Why? What? The batteries? Batteries in her phone? What time does this take place in? I mean, I get it take place in the 90s. And her home phone had its lines cut over a month ago. That wasn't... I don't understand. I mean, that's a better explanation than my dad said no cops because he got framed by a narcoc. He got framed by a narcop because he was smuggling cocaine, like some stupid shit like that. Jane then nearly jumped out of her pale, delicate skin as her ears quickly perked up at the sound of a window smashing in the kitchen. Jane dashed across the kitchen only to notice that the shattered shards of the window and a rock with a note attached to it on screen, attached to it with cross string. Curiosity got the better of her, and Jane untied the string and read the note. Here's what the note said. Jane, aren't you coming to dinner? All your friends are here. I think this is a reimagining of the Jane versus Jeff, although it doesn't really work because it kind of, I feel like they kind of forgot that they are recapping it. Like, that's what it feels like. As Jane was remembering the events that led up to her life changing forever, she knew that she what she had just remembered was peanuts compared to the horrific events that followed up the next few life-scarring moments of her now shattered life. Tears slowly began to pour down her pale, pure white cheeks. When Jane regained her consciousness after a blackout in the kitchen, she got the feeling that she was tied up against a wooden chair. Her vision blurred. She could only see the white smudges of white, red, and black. When her vision fully focused, she saw Jeff's now horrifically disfigured face. Jeff still had white bleach white skin and Jeff black hair. I'm just gonna keep going after I stutter over myself with these fucking self-induced typos or whatever you want to call it. How would I write Jeff the Killer? I put a twist in the ending that he's an albino. Well, that's very insensitive. The only time, I think it's only one time in my life, I can recall ever, knowing an albino person. I didn't know him. It was just went to my school. And it was funny because anytime, it was a predominantly, black and, Latino school. So, black, Latino, and I think most of the Latino were, Puerto Rican. And the only person who looked Caucasian in my school was albino. And you could tell. Which is silly considering American police can get away with almost everything. Drugs is one of them. Yeah. We respect the boys in blue and on my streams, mister. Okay, when Jane regained consciousness after the blackout in the kitchen, where were we? Okay. He had taken a knife and carved a smile onto his face. Okay, where were we? Okay, discharged from the hospital. But this time, his face looked even more disturbing. Jeff's eyes were bordered in black, and his pupils were dilated. He also now had an elongated smile that trickled with blood. He had taken a knife and carved a smile into his face so he could smile forever. Again, you weren't there. Jane the Killer Restore. Look out the window, shout, silence, grab fire extinguisher, faint, wake up, scream, faint, get kidnapped, burnt, faint, wake up, in hospital, cry, walk away, how enthralling. Pretty much. I don't think I could have put it better myself, actually. It's on loop. I think it's on a loop. Oh, I forgot to I've been playing the same song over and over again. I didn't notice it. Because the song is so good, you see. He had taken a knife and carved a smile. Okay. His white hoodie and black dress pants were dampened with a mixture of blood and the cold autumn rain. Jane tried to loosen her bonds to no avail. Will you ever read Happy Happy on the streams? No. Mostly because Happy Happy was made to genuinely take the piss out of people. And people took it seriously, despite how over the top and ridiculous it was. I might read that. I might read that on stream only on the condition that Fish Stick on a Stick had to suffer through it with me. Because he swore that he was going to read that. I'll participate in that. Or if he's not willing to come on my stream, because I don't want him to have to read something he probably doesn't enjoy twice. If he reads it on his channel and he posts it up, I will make it. I will do one on my channel. So you better all 11 of you better go on to Fish Stick on a Stick's channel with his piddling 7,000 subscribers. What a loser! It's also massively long. Okay, I would rather my private parts not be talked about on stream. Thank you very much. I don't even know how you got my dick pics. I sent them to my loan officer. And now, all of a sudden, everybody's got them. That's some petty shit right there. He had taken a knife and carved a smile on his face forever. His white hoodie and black dress pants were also dampened with a mixture of blood. Okay. Tried to loosen the bones no avail. The chair was strapped on with self-conscious holding back from the violence. But blah. Are we going to get to anywhere new? What do you want from me, Jeff? Doing the party, Jane? Okay. I think that... Okay. Yeah, let's keep reading. I don't want to skip ahead. I was gonna yell at me for reminding you that Jeff the Killer versus Michael Myers exists. Um, what do I say about that fucking story? It's exactly as bad as, like, at least, no, I can't say that because the funny thing is, the weird thing about Michael about that story is that certain details about it, if you're a fan of the Halloween series or just the first film in general, it's, you can tell that the person who wrote it is a fan of it too. Like the, referring to Michael's the shape and like the kind of weird, like they're trying to like paint Jane as being like the kind of oh fuck, how do I not remember anything? She's, God, my memory is so shit. The main character of the Michael. I keep thinking Jodie Foster, but that's not right. Michael Myers. No, not Michael Venom Page. Laurie Strode. Yeah, I think like they kind of paint Jane the Killer as being like a Laurie Strode-esque character, and like it kind of feels that way. You can actually feel if you like. So it kind of makes you think, like, you're a fan of the Halloween series, which means that, I don't know, like, it's like being a fan of, I know, I disagree with John Mulaney. He had this bit was saying, like, comparing The Godfather to Scarface. And I love both those films. And I think he, like, has a low opinion of The Godfather. Another Godfather of Scarface. And he made a bit where he said that comparing The Godfather to Scarface is like comparing, an expensive steak to Skittles. And that's what it feels like. It's like you're a fan of Halloween and you're a fan of Jeff the Killer, and it's like being a fan of a steak. And I wouldn't even use Skittles because Skittles are sweet. It's like being a fan of I guess food you find out of the dumpster, because even then, like, the food that was put into the dumpster, it once was something good, or it had to be, it came from something, a better place. It probably came from the same restaurant that steak was made in, but now it's like a festering bits of molding meat, and it doesn't even resemble what it once was. So I don't know. Jane regained her consciousness. Blah blah blah. All Jane could do was whimper and sob, and have a sense of fear that she hadn't had for a long time. What do you want from me, Jeff? Senpai? Jane whimpered as a question, as bitter as her what the fuck? This is weird analogies. Oh yeah, I think that, yeah, I know, like, I don't get John Mulaney's dislike of it. Although, I think it kind of came from, and I can speak from experience on this, like, when the Scarface really started to take off in certain neighborhoods, like certain, I guess, predominantly black neighborhoods. I used to see kids, like, walking around with Scarface shirts and whatnot, like almost like like they looked up to him, and it's like, did you forget how the movie ends, and the kind of, like, they didn't understand the moral of the film. They just saw the excess and the fact that, oh, this guy's such a badass, gunning all these people, and how people seem to be afraid of him, and like, you missed the point of the movie entirely. Even the Boondocks made a joke off of that, with that whole episode that was a reference to Scarface with selling, like, Girl Scout cookies, or like, no, it's not Girl Scout cookies, like a school fundraiser when they were selling candy bars. And Riley watched Scarface, and he just deliberately mentioned he didn't see the end of the film. And Huey hands him he's like, okay, I'm not going to nag you about this, I'm not going to give you advice, just take this. And he gives him like a bulletproof vest that comes into play at the end of the thing that saves him from getting killed. Jeff chuckled. Don't you want to join the party, Jenny? He sarcastically asked, before bursting into uncontrollable hysteria whilst he walked out of Jane's line of sight. What Jane witnessed next were some of the most horrific things that any normal person could be capable of, and couldn't be duplicated into any slasher. The way that this is all phrased is just frustrating. And also, like, couldn't be duplicated. Like, you ain't fucking special. Like, I've seen low-rent, bottom-tier torture porn garbage get put onto fucking all these different sites. Like, don't act like you can outdo any of them. What's happened to Atlanta? You from Netflix depicts a man who stalks women. You're not supposed to like the main character, but women do for some reason. What? Oh, yeah. Image study. You missed the point of idealism from Starfight, and Scarface is one of the characters. Yeah. Or fucking, you can point to, like, even a fucking... I can't say 50 Shades of Grey because you're supposed to like them. Like, deliberately. It's supposed to be like a sex fantasy for a specific person. Jane was the guest to a non-existent dinner party where her parents, her friends, and just family, but they weren't breathing. They had knives and forks impaled into their eye sockets in her position as if they were staring into Jane's soul. Jane thought she'd seen everything until Jeff jumped back into the line of sight with a box in his hands. I know him jumping back into her line of sight made me think of like Eddie Murphy dressed up as Rick James, like cocking his fist back to slap Charlie Murphy. No, not Eddie Murphy. Dave Chappelle dressed as Rick James. Ah. See? Jeff chuckled. I am generous to you. Jeff then gave the box to Jane and falsely kissed her cheek with his scarred mouth before walking off into the surrounding darkness that was faintly illuminated by the whispering candlelight. Whispering candlelight? Also had De Niro from Taxi Driver, Joker, Rick from Rick and Morty, Walter White, and a few others. I think comparing like, cause the Joker film, like, I think that resonated with people because, like, the fact that I think it's the fact that compared to like someone like Walter White or De Niro from Taxi Driver, I think he had more of a just reason to be as angry at the world as anyone else. In regards to how, like, he's not wrong when he like rages against the system, but how he goes about fighting the system, you can tell like this is not done out of some kind of and he even tells you straight up, I'm not doing this for anyone else. This is what I do. Like, he basically admits that he's like, this is him acting out because it makes him feel better. People kind of forget that, and even straight up tells you, I'm not a leader. I'm not fucking here to be your crusader. So yeah, he then screamed when he saw the item that was encased in a small cardboard box, and it was, oh God, it was the decapitated, still bleeding head of Jeff's older brother Liu. She then dropped the box as she heard the growing sound of Jeff's footsteps. I love that. I don't know why it reminds, like, I keep thinking of other things. It reminds me of that fucking indie horror game. What was it? Psyche no Stocko or something like that? Where you're literally getting stalked by a yandere. And it's not Yandere Simulator, but it's infinitely better. And it's actually surprisingly tense and scary. As soon as the footsteps were silenced, Jeff then drenched Jane. It also kind of treats yanderes as the horrific thing that it realistically would be in the real world. Jeff then drenched Jane in the same substance that he was coated in at the time of his burden. Vodka and You motherfucker! That was perfectly good vodka. Wait, was Leo decapitated in the original? No, he was not. After there was nothing left in the containers, Jeff chucked them behind his back and threw the bottle of bleach, and then threw the glass bottle that was once held by his that once held his deceased father's vodka. You. Jane mumbled as Jeff walked off towards the table which Jane had been trapped for at least half an hour. Jeff then picked up one of the candles that faintly illuminated the darkness and around Jane and him. Jane's eyes were then widened with fear. She knew what Jeff was about to do. "No, Jeff! Please stop!" Jane cried out. "I'm sorry!" Jeff's neck then cracked as he turned to face Jane with a seemingly unblinking eye. They are not seemingly unblinking. He literally cannot blink. What? What is this? I like how in Jeff 1 by 1 they retcon it so that Jeff's mom is from China, and that's why Leo's name is so... What the fuck? I've never heard that. I don't know what story we're on, but happy birthday. Thank you. My birthday was yesterday, but again, as I mentioned in the chat earlier, if I put post-birthday stream, I can't... I can't really guilt trip people into coming onto the stream like I normally would. By the way, all my friends didn't show up. They're bad people. Unsubscribe from them. Including Anti-Phantasm and all the 0 videos he hasn't put out in years. He then sat in front of Jane. What was it? It's not your fault, Jane. Jeff mumbled. He gently placed a candle on the table. He then sat in front of Jane. Jane had no idea what Jeff was thinking in that unstable mind of his. Jeff then smirked and he started to stroke Jane's leg. Oh my god. Are we gonna go there? No, we're not gonna go there, thank god. No! Jane, you remember in Jane versus Jeff and the ending of it? Where it implied that fucking Jane had gotten impregnated with Jeff's baby? Yeah, let's remember that shit. I can never forget that. No. Sorry. She's starting to get uncomfortable. Please stop. Oh, please stop doing that. I don't like it. Oh, it would be such a shame if you tore off my skirt and ravaged my private parts. And then Jeff gets increasingly uncomfortable. It's like slowly brings his head like, I didn't say you could stop. Jeff smirked, then faltered as his fingers came into contact with what he knew to be a knife blade. He then dug through Jane's pocket and pulled out the knife. I can explain! Jane began to sob. I knew you'd try to kill me. Jeff laughed in her face. But I'm not the one who's on fire. Jeff then cut Jane's bonds and picked up the candle. What? By the time the pain stopped... Wait. So he cut her bonds. So... What? She can get away, can't she? By the time... Like, while he's talking right now, she could bolt. By the time the pain stops, you'll be as beautiful as I am, Janie. Or Janny. Okay, well, I think that's justification enough to kill fucking Janie Killer. Calling her Janny is because she's a Reddit mod. Guys, I'm going to tell you only one time. You do not post memes on the general discussion board. If you keep doing it, I will have to block you. Anyways, yes, I do think that I should be able to sleep with children whenever I please. That's the oldest joke, but people will stop telling that joke when it stops being true. Or is that Discord mod? Excuse me. Same difference. Jeff psychotically laughed as he threw the burning candle at Jane. The last thing Jane remembered was that when she caught a light, she screamed in never-ending pain and agony as flakes of her pale skin peeled away from her slim body. Her veins charred and her blood boiled as she became a walking inferno. I mean, vodka, I don't think is that flammable, is it? Even, I know bleach is 80% water and it wouldn't let it burn, but... they kind of, embellish how flammable this shit... I don't know, let me see, I think I got more Crystal Head vodka for my birthday, and I think even that's, only 40%. What's that weird fucking Russian vodka that's, 95% alcohol, and you need to, taper that shit down, or else you might literally die after drinking one bottle. Jane cried harder as the memories of what happened next came flooding back into her mind. When Jane woke up, her vision was limited due to having bandages wrapped tightly around her head. From what she could figure, she was lying in a hospital bed. A nurse then walked in. She, capitalized, had strawberry red hair. I guess it's like how in the Bible they refer to God with an uppercase E. So this lady is a divine entity of some sort. Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to think of a voice to give her. Mary, how are you feeling? The nurse asked politely with a smile. What? Jane's... Oh, wow! That's perfect. Jane's voice had a rough sandpaper texture to it. Where am I? The nurse's smile drooped as she walked closer to Jane. Mary, you don't remember? She asked, puzzled by Jane's response. Jane's mind went blank. She could only remember what she was set alight by Jeff's, and her friends and family suffered violent demises. My family, she said quickly. Are they all right? Vodka wouldn't cause you to burn, at least not badly. I thought so. What? Sorry, said something about something I said? About which comment? Oh, they're fine. Oh, they're fine, sorry. I don't know. This is what I get for not keeping up with the chat. It's a remake of the Jeff the Kid story written by the neo-Nazi. That's a misconception, and it was my fault that was common preconception that people have. The story that we read on the Bad Creepypasta channel, the Jane the Killer story, was written by Pasta Killer 69. That isn't Mr. Angry Dog. Mr. Angry Dog's a Nazi fetishist. The story that they read recently, the Jane the Killer story, Jane the Killer story, Bread of Science or some shit like that, or whatever it's called, Born of Science. That's the story written by Nazi Man. Yeah, at the end of Jeff versus Jane, I think Third of Clubs and MD Phantasm read it on my channel not too long ago. And at the end of the story, after they're done fighting, they find Jane's body and she has a baby inside her, and it's implied, I guess, to be Jeff's. Or some weird shit about her being reincarnated. I don't fucking know. Oh, Just a Killer fans are degenerates. Not the worst. Not even. No, I think that kind of vitriol should be best reserved for fucking Sonic.exe fans. Oh yeah, I was there. I read the. I was in the chat. I watched the video, and the funny thing is, listening to that story, it made me immediately realize how much of a how stupid I was for thinking that the one we read the first time was written by Mr. Angry Dog, because at least that story was semi-coherent, and the one that like Born of Science was so dumb and so, I guess, juvenile in how it was written, that it made me immediately think, like, this is fucking this is Angry Dog's, this is his style of writing. How could I have made this? How could I have made this mistake? Especially with him talking about like how beautiful like Jane was, and like all her, you know, like how she was standing naked. Like that's his calling card. That's what he does. I said I wouldn't do it, but you know what? I'm a little bit. I guess I'm slightly buzzed, so I don't mind it so much. I'm gonna show you when we're done with this story, Mr. Angry Dog's some of the stuff that he puts up, or some of the Jane the Killer related stuff, because it's fucking insane. I got a surprising amount of page views. That's pretty cool, I guess. He's got a lot of Lister Grant. Okay. What the fuck is this? Paula Richards. Yeah, he does this. It's hard to explain. We'll see it. It's a rabbit hole of weirdness. That's the only thing I can describe. I I I can't describe it as anything else. Like he he attributes a lot of his, I guess, certain behavior aspects to, because he's openly. I'm not saying this as a pejorative. He admits that he's autistic. I don't know how severe his case is, but he brought it up whenever he like lashed out at people and like got pissy with people, and he would use that as a kind of a crutch to defend himself. So, I don't know that how much of that I can really use to explain his kind of eccentricities. I think you could say them. How you could say anti-hero camping. Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, sorry. Is that Big Pete as a Nazi? Nah. God damn, he put him. Look at that. Over like 5,000 stuff he puts up. Fan mate, okay. That's kind of cute. Let's finish the story first. Let's actually get through this shit. I would pay 2,000 to watch Slime Beast get in the ring with JC and thrash him. I'd feel that way about him and what's his name, Vincent Vita Cava. Vincent Vita Cava is a fucking piece of work. Like, I'm just saying, like, in regards to who escalated what, when, like, okay, this guy does not want us to monetize his one video that's kind of popular of us reading his story. Okay, that's kind of annoying, but whatever. But then you have it on the stream with him talking about, like, yeah, if I wanted to, I could go to his house and like fucking put him in the ground or whatever. Like, because he doesn't want your video to be monetized, and I guess he, Slime Beast, when he like talks about people he feels did him wrong, I think he could be a bit abrasive, maybe. But that doesn't warrant, like, that doesn't justify like having legitimate like a blood grudge against him. Vincent Vita Cava, I think he's a friends with Mr. Creepypasta. I think he also helps him out with his videos. I don't know to what extent. I think they're also like business partners or something like that. I have a strong disdain towards him. He seems like a slimy little dickhead. Mostly because, like, I took down a stream of me like covering it for the Creepy Leaks because I remember I got on Hudo Hoodlum for how he tried to approach it. I thought he was like getting too emotionally invested, and then in the stream, I actually like almost lost my shit when I think a Slime Beast was in the chat, and I was listening to a recorded audio of them like talking shit about Slime Beast and talking shit about his mom. And Slime Beast, I don't know if, I hope that she's still around. At the time, like, he was living with his mom to take care of her, and she's like wheelchair bound. And I was like, these are the slimiest, fucking most pig-headed pieces of shit I've ever had the displeasure of knowing, like, breathe the same air as me. Like, and all this came from the fact that they were upset that they didn't want, like, Slime Beast didn't want the video of him reading his shit to be monetized. That's all. Did he help him buy that suit of armor with his fans' money? Oh yeah, like, you remember, I downloaded Creepy League, so if it's still down, I could fucking just re-upload it and shit. I'm getting way off track. I don't always agree with how Slime Beat, like, I guess the tone that Slime Beats takes with certain people. I think he, like, the way he kind of went with us. Although when he like elaborated on his past dealings with like people within the creepypasta community, it helped put into perspective why he was so, I guess not like, I guess he was distrusting is the term. Like, I think he was quick to assume like malice on our part, and I don't blame him for assuming that, given how toxic creepypasta fandom and like fan bases can be. Although, like, I approached him because I didn't like that. I wanted to get his side of the story, and I found him to be like even kill. I didn't appreciate how The only thing I don't appreciate and I still don't agree with, and I think we already ironed it out. I mentioned it a few times before, but I wanted to always clarify. The only thing that I ever really had a problem with when it came to slime beasts, or at least in retro, like in speaking from the past tense, was when he insinuated that we were essentially making up claims or complaints about Abandoned by Disney or any of his stories. And I, my issue wasn't necessarily that, like, if he had said that you're wrong about this and you obviously weren't, I don't think you were paying attention, I think that's fair. Because, there's some shit that we kind of get sidetracked and kind of like details we kind of skip out on. And sometimes you read over something and it doesn't really register with you. And you kind of forget about it as you go on to the next paragraph or something like that. Like, I'm very short, kind of like absent-minded when it comes to reading these stories, as I can demonstrate now the fact that I'm going on about this instead of reading the fucking story like I promised to in the fucking title of the stream. But when you say that I made them up, and like, I don't know, man, it's just me, and maybe I'm overreacting, that to me that feels like you're calling me a liar. I would rather be called wrong, or even be called dumb, than be called a liar. Because you can, like, if a dumb person does you wrong and because they're being dumb, then you can forgive that. You can talk to that person and, like, eventually you can find a middle ground. You can't talk to a liar. You can't trust a liar. And that's why whenever someone calls me or insinuates that I might be lying about something or that I am a liar, I take personal issue with that. And again, that's how I perceived it. I'm not saying, like, I think when I did the Creepy League stream, I don't know if the fucking chat replay is even on that stream. So he, Mr. Creepy, Slime Beast was in the stream, and he was like telling me certain things that, like, basically, like, I had him there to kind of follow up with certain bits of information that I needed. And before the stream aired, I ironed it out with him. He said, like, well, that's how I saw it. I didn't mean that way. So I don't got any problems with like, I think Slime Beast is kind of cool. Like, I honestly believe that if we had met under, I guess, less than hostile circumstances, and if he didn't have the kind of past dealings of dealing with the creepypasta fan that they did, I think that we would have, like, hit it off immediately. He seems like we kind of cut from the same cloth in regards to I guess, a cynical approach to it. And I think he does a good job on keeping track with a lot of the shit going on within the fandom. And I kind of think you need someone like that who's on the fringe of it. I've all but given up on even keeping up with it, because I think he has more respect for the creepypasta fandom than I do, because I kind of read it with outright disdain, and he, I think, has enough respect for it to actually try to care enough to actually investigate certain things. I think he, like, I'm not saying that he assumed it, like, I think the fact that he doesn't come into it assuming the worst, like, he'll actually talk to people, but I'm quick to assume the worst. I'm talking too much. I'm like a fucking Ben Shapiro debate. The faster I talk, the less time I give you to respond. Where was it? Oh, we were looking, what the fuck is this? Me as a Powerpuff Girls character. That's groovy, brother. Back to the story. Well, first, let me take a shot of this so I can calm my nerves. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow. The nurse frowned. My family, Jane said quickly. Are they all right? The nurse frowned. I'm sorry, Mrs. Arkansas, the nurse grimly began. Your mother and father have died in the house fire you were found at. Jane remembered the one last thing she ever saw of her parents was her beaten, blood-soaked corpses. They began to sob heavily. The nurse then hugged Jane in an attempt to ease her sobbing. The following 4 weeks have come in the same pattern of events. Jane, having only hourly visits from the hospital staff, but on the final day of Jane being in bandages, came a long-awaited hour of removal of the bandages. Jane then woke up to from a medically induced coma she was placed into after the third week. She noticed her body wasn't as bandaged as before, and she noticed her skin was purely white. She ran her unbandaged index finger down a visible portion of her thigh and noticed the skin was still smooth like she remembered it. Maybe the flames were weaker than I thought, she thought to herself with a slight, nervous giggle afterwards. I am drinking a mix of Fireball and apple cider. Fireball whiskey, just to be clear. See, like, I think I do a decent Kermit the Frog. Like, everyone says, like, it's great. Like, I think it's decent. But then again, my voice, how it sounds to me when I listen to myself and record. Like, the first time I ever heard myself, like, someone that recorded me talking, and then they played it back to me. I'm like, who's that? I was like, that's you. Like, no, it's not. That sounds nothing like me. You have more rum. Fuck you, Kenzie. You thought I wouldn't notice that shit. Stop. It was rumchata. Chata. With a U and a T and an E and a B. Somewhere. Rum chowder. It's fucking Fish is lucky I don't feel. Fish is lucky I'm not drunk enough to call him up. Like, do the JFK voice. Do it, you fuck. Sorry. The same nurse. I never thought in my life that Toby was streaming 22. Hi, Slambies. How are you doing? Even though. Oh, yeah. Well, even even if we legit felt like we were wronged in our interactions with Slambies, like, how many years can go by after a while you feel like you can hold a grudge, you know? Like, I don't know, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, there are people that have done me wrong personally in my day-to-day life that I never want to fucking see again. And I actually actively keep myself from wishing ill on them because of how much contempt that I have for them. But at the same time, like, I go out of my way not to feel that way about people unless they absolutely deserved it. And us having a disagreement over a fucking story on the internet, like, I don't think that warrants, like, having a multi-year grudge against someone. Like, that's just petty shit. That's the same kind of petty shit that fucking Vincent Vinacava and Mr. Creepypasta's fucking little cabal of dickheads would do. Fucking wanting to, like, legit like, having daydreams of killing someone because he doesn't want some guy on the internet because he doesn't want you reading their story. Fuck off, goddamn lunatic. Sorry, where was I? Today's the day, Miss Arkansas. Arkansas looks like it's some weird Invader Zim spelling of Arkansas. You know, like how school is spelled with a K in Invader Zim? Jane looked at the nurse. What day? Sorry. Just checking something real quick. I was just checking something for a second. Okay. The removal of your bandages, you dumb motherfucker. Jane's face lit with excitement. Can I remove them myself? She asked with excitement in her face lit up with excitement, and then she said this with excitement in her voice. Fuck off. Look, just read through. Again, like, I think it's a fucking necessity. If you write something, anything, read it out loud to yourself. And then, if it doesn't sound right coming out of your mouth, then rewrite it to make it sound passable phonetically. The nurse could see a slight nervousness in Jane's... she could see the nervousness in her tone of voice. Fucking editing her audio in Audacity. Speaking of Invader Zim, it premiered 20 years ago. All of you feel old. Did Mr. Knight... there was some shit going on. Like, didn't he have like a... there was some shit between Hudo and Mr. Nightmare, if I remember right. I don't remember what that was about, though. I think Mr. Nightmare accused him of something. Or, like was talking some shit about him. You know, Hudo... I don't know. When it comes to Hudo, Hudo's too nice for his own good sometimes. I think he's a really cool guy. That's why I think anytime some shit goes on in the creepypasta community, I don't like people coming to him for it. Because, like, I have to tell him, like, you can't... dude, don't think with your heart. Like, you know, love with all your heart, like, think with all your brain or something like that. I can't remember. What was it? The Captain Disillusionment? Is that what he said? Something like that. Yeah, we have to cancel Invader Sim so we can make more live action shows, bro. Anyone remember Naked Brothers Band? Remember that? There was a show called Naked Brothers Band on Nickelodeon. Never forget that. Dan Schneider greenlit a show called Naked Brothers Band. God, sorry. Jane began to untie the bandages that covered her face. As soon as the final bandage was removed, the nurse looked in shock. Jane looked at her in confusion. "What is it?" she asked. The nurse didn't reply. "What the fuck is wrong with my face?" Jane asked, getting slightly annoyed. She still got no response. "Give me a mirror." Miss Arkansas, I don't think... Give me a mirror, bitch. Oh, yeah. There was a show called Naked Brothers Band. And there's a Nintendo DS game based off the Naked Brothers Band TV show. I might actually play that for the channel. It's nothing lewd, but the fact that there's a show with child stars called the Naked Brothers Band on Nickelodeon with fucking Dan Schneider. Yeah. The nurse then pulled a small round mirror out of her white coat and passed it to Jane. Jane then examined her face. She screamed as he dropped the mirror. However, the shadow of the mirror was nothing... God damn it! Why did you include that horrible fucking analogy from the original story? The shattering of the mirror was nothing in comparison to Jane's life-changing realization. Her whole body was... okay, it was slightly edited, but still sounds stupid. Her whole body was purely white. It was purely Caucasian. And, like, she was part of the Uber race. My sister's big on TikTok. I have a intense disdain for TikTok. I hate TikTok. I hate how many fucking e-celebs get TikTok. It's like the moment you're on, like, if you're an e-celeb, if you don't start off on TikTok, but you go on to it, in this day and age, I lose respect for you. Same like, and I mean it sincerely, and I don't mean to slut shame, but if you make an OnlyFans, I lose tremendous amount of respect for you. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm sorry. I don't know. I guess I'm old school. Like, develop a personality and get an actual job. Get some skills. And this is coming from me. I got next to no marketable skills myself other than picking shit up and counting. But even I would never stoop so low. Like, if I was even more handsome than I already was, I would never even think, it would never even register in my brain to sell nudes of myself to make money. What? I thought Wolf's mother directed it. She worked on it, and her dad, which probably was a creepy Dan, never got to them, and it turned out well. They're talking about Naked Brothers. I didn't know nothing about Naked Brothers Band. Only as a kid, I hated it because it got distracted me. Like, there was, get this live action bullshit. If I wanted to watch live action shit, I would stay up late until Nick at Night come on. I don't want to watch this stupid shit when cartoons are supposed to be on. If you make an OnlyFans, I will lose all respect for you and publicly mock and shame you. You should. I actually would encourage that. I don't want to come off as I'm slut shaming. I don't know. Like, imagine being a father who tries your best to instill the virtues of hard work and you know, earning shit off the sweat of your brow to your children, and then one of them ends up being on OnlyFans, like selling pictures of their body when they turn 18, and it makes you really think, and it makes you really, like, wouldn't it make you think, like, what did I do to make this happen? Not only that, but was she waiting until she got legal age to do this? And it's kind of weird to say because I don't even know how off base I am when saying this. Like, it's gotten to the point where I feel like I'm in such a minority. I'm starting to think, is this a me issue? Am I just, like, old and curmudgeon and I can't get with the times? I argue with myself, but I can't think any other way. I'm one of those guys that feels that if you let your child do that, like, I'm talking about, like, 18-year-olds, and that sucks. That we have, like, people that are just fresh out of college doing this shit. It's like, I think you kind of failed to some degree as a parent. And I think that it's a matter of self-respect. I mean, do what you gotta do to survive. Like, I don't think that it should be taken away from them. I think that's fair to say. Like, is it fair to say that I don't think that there should be laws against shit like that? But at the same time, yeah, we shouldn't be encouraging it. Smooth. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, Jane was mutilated. Speaking of OnlyFans, let's describe Jane's mutilated body. I'm sorry if you keep hearing this noise. It's me, like, adjusting a microphone constantly. Jane then felt her face, only to realize that it had a leathery but somewhat smooth smell to it, as well as 3 small but noticeable burn marks on her chin and forehead. She began to sob. The nurse then held Jane tightly. After a couple of minutes, the nurse left. Someone that Jane had never seen before in time of recovery said, sorry, that's not the thing. Yeah, I've heard of girls that saying that because they turned 18, they were going to make an OnlyFans because people were asking to make them. The world is disgusting. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I've all but given up on, like, trying to, like, and the thing is, I don't want the world to turn back. Like, we're supposed to be moving forward, right? Like, I don't want to, like, embrace certain traditions for no reason, but I don't know. I want people to have some self-respect in themselves anymore. Things get hard, like, and I understand there's a temptation there to take shortcuts, but I don't know, like, some people need to learn how to, like, fucking hustle. That doesn't involve shit that'll, like, stay with them for the rest of their lives. Like, I don't like drug dealing, but even when it comes to drug dealing, that's something that you do, like, a fair amount of them they do, and when they build their stock up, they fucking dip from that lifestyle and never look back. But this OnlyFans shit, I don't think a lot of the young women even realize this is gonna stick with you for the rest of your fucking life. This is what you're gonna be remembered for. Like, God help you if you have children one day, and your children are gonna look like little Tommy's gonna be down the hall, like, haha, like, I jerked off the pictures of your mom. What is Tommy supposed to do? Because he knows they're there. He can't say anything about it. And then, God, if you have a daughter, damn. What? Did you say something, Kenzie? Dimorphism. I would laugh my ass off if Chris Chan made an OnlyFans. That would be the funniest shit in the fucking world. I think more than anything else is the age of which some of these girls are doing it that bothers the shit out of me. Like a woman who's like in her close to her 30s, who's got like some shit figured out and like knows how to invest their money and whatnot. Like someone who has more, at the very least, is more likely to actually understand the weight of what they're committing to. I think that again, I don't get behind it, but at the very least, I think they can better justify themselves. And again, I don't think there should be some law that says that you can't do that. Like, I'm not for this, like, ultra conservative mindset where it's like, we need to completely bar women from having the choice to do this. Like, nah, I don't. First of all, you create a black market when you do shit like that. Although we should have some standards, you know what I mean? Like, it's like prostitution. Like, I think prostitution should be legal within reason. If only so a fair amount of these girls that are on the streets can have some level of protection instead of like trusting in like backhand Bob or whatever the fuck their pimp's name is. Gonna fucking like break their legs if they don't bring the money in. It doesn't even like bother to buy them condoms to prevent STDs or some shit. I don't know. I don't even know about this. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Why are you listening to me? Why are you subscribed to my channel? What the fuck is wrong with you people? I'm cutting this internet down after I'm done reading the story. I forgot, we gotta finish this fucking story. A couple of minutes after the nurse left, delivery for Jane the Arkansas. That's me. That's me. The figure then walked to Jane. Seems like somebody really cares about you. The figure chuckled, and then passed a package to Jane. Thanks. Jane then looked at the figures and left the room. Jane quickly unwrapped the package and almost instantly... It's a package almost instantly. Who could this be? Who could this be? And who might have sent it? Well, sorry, what could this be? Jane thought to herself. She knew that it was someone who cared about her, and obviously someone who was still alive. Jane then opened the package to find something that made her bloodstream freeze in place and turn to ice. She's a long lost fucking descendant of Dio. Anyone remember that in fucking JoJo? Where it's like in the first series, in the Dio had ice powers where he could like freeze people. And then in part 3, when he comes back, he seems to forget that he can do that. I know the Iraqi forgot meme is like strong with people, but and I think some of it is like legit, like him not forgetting. He just doesn't want to do it anymore. But you gotta have something to explain it sometimes. That's all I'm saying. Like even say that Dio thinks that he shouldn't rely on cheap tricks like that. And that's why he doesn't use his instant freeze powers anymore, or some shit like that. And non-JoJo fans have no idea what I'm talking about. By the way, how non-JoJo fans feel about JoJo's art style is how I feel about Baki the Grappler, and I haven't watched it yet, or I haven't read it yet. Like, I get on non-JoJo fan like, aw, come on, guys. Like, it's not, like, completely what you would expect, but it's still good. Like, you just need to get past your biases when it comes to the art, how art should look in a shonen anime. And then Baki comes out, and Baki fans are like, ah, come on, Nachi. They're like, oh, shit. I got hit with the razzle-dazzle. What's my opinion of Rooster Teeth and Death Battle? I don't know. Death Battle bores me, to be honest with you. Cause like their criteria, like I think my biggest problem with Death Battle is that their way of analyzing shit. It is never really all that consistent. So I don't really put that much stock into it. It's like epic rap battles of history. It's like who wins is like, well, you tell me. You kind of chose who won by giving whoever you wanted the best lines. And let's be clear right now, Mr. Epic Battles of Rap History or some shit. Let's be clear about this. Do not ever compare that fat schlubby cockhead Winston Churchill to my beloved Theodore Roosevelt again. I mean, to be fair, they both slaughtered people in like less than part of the country. But but at the very least, fucking Theodore Roosevelt doesn't have a kill count in the millions. People kind of forget about that, right? What Winston Churchill signed off on. What was it like? How many was it? Like 5 million people in and I think in some place India were like slaughtered under his direction. Hold on, let me look that up. I'll look it up right now. Don't think I won't. Don't think I won't. I'm gonna take another break from the fucking stream. How dare you people make me go off on the tangents? What the fuck was that? Was on something. Oh yeah, I remember what that was. We don't make Toby's dad jokes anymore. Don't ask why. I don't know why. Jimmy and Kobe talk about stuff. Maybe it's because they actually like know him in person. And India famine. Okay. Let's see. How many people? Okay, decimated total deaths. 2.1 to 3 million. Okay, there we go. There we go. So we got that out of the way. Like I said, I'm not. Here's the thing. Again, I'm not judging. Like I'll judge. Like it depends on the circumstances too. Like, don't let me judging you stop you from doing that. But it's all about a matter of how you invest that money too. I don't want to make you feel like I'm like looking down at you for whatever. Yeah, I don't know what your financial situation is. I think it's also the kind of mentality that people have. I think this. If they were to come to pros like, look. This is what I gotta do. Like, I gotta do what I gotta do. Like, I think I would have more respect of it. But it's always this kind of weird, kind of mental gymnastic shit. It's not just the fact that... It's not just that they're saying that this is okay. It's the fact that this is good, and you should be praising me. Like, okay, that's where you go too far. I don't know, I'm kind of lit. So... I might regret half of what I say when I actually wake up in the morning. What time is it? God damn it. I have not finished 2 stories. That's me. There was a knife attached to... Okay, content of the package was a single pair of black contact lenses, a long black dress, a kitchen knife, and a bunch of black roses. Attached to the knife, there was also a note. Hey, Jane. I'm sorry I messed up trying to make you beautiful. So I gave you the contacts that will, let you seem beautiful. That's the wrong voice. Jen, sorry I messed up at making you beautiful. So I give you contacts, and I'll make you seem beautiful until you get better. Also, you forgot your knife. I thought you might want it back. Jane hid everything but the black roses before the nurse came back. When nurse came back, Jane told her that all the packages were black roses. The nurse seemed to be a slight bit disgusted by them. Hey, do you want me to dispose of those roses, Jane Arcane Sow? She asked. Jane looked up at the nurse. No thanks. She replied down the roses. I think they're kind of pretty. She said whilst smiling to herself. The nurse sighed and left the room. As Jane then gently inserted the black roses she received from Jeff into the bedside vase, which naturally they would have an empty vase beside the fucking thing. She blushed at the very jot. We're going there, huh? We're going there. Okay. You want to do this to me, story? Fine. Fuck it. I don't give a shit. I don't give two shits. Let's bring Najee back up on screen. Let's bring Vince. I keep fluctuating. I was using my real name and using my screen name. Let's bring me, yours truly, back on screen. Take this shit off. I don't need sleep. Fuck it. I don't give a shit. You think I give a shit? I don't give even the closest bit of a damn. Why not? Why not? You know? Fuck me. Fuck everything I care about. Let's have another one of these fucking Jeff and Jane stories. Why not? Oh, that is good. That is yummy. I needed that. Okay, let's push on. The nurse sighed and left Jane's room. Okay. She blushed at the very thought of Jeff caring for her. She smiled, but her smile drooped into a frown as she remembered what that Jeff had done to her friends and family. Jeff Senpai noticed it. Wait a minute, he killed my family. Oh, that jerk. Jane then remembered that she escaped from the hospital, donning the attire that she received from... I kind of forgot that this story is being told in the past tense. Donning the attire that she received from Jeff. She then remembered what she did earlier. Visit the nearby cemetery and mourn the loss of her parents. How did she even know that they were buried there? When she entered the cemetery, she ran through the massive headstones to find the grave of her parents. Jane didn't know why, but she had the unnerving feeling that drove her to the cemetery. She knew that she'd get upset and possibly end up sobbing, but she had to see if her parents were given a proper burial. Probably little. Okay, well, 4 weeks is a decent. I kind of forgot this 4 weeks time. Your death will come at the hands of racist Guru Larry. I haven't done that voice in a while. I love how my whole bit with Guru Larry was just basically, what if he did my humor and that was it? Okay. Jeff scurried to the... Okay. Jane scurried to the massive collection of tombstones, of whom she didn't know at all, or didn't know a whole lot about them, until she found 2 particular tombstones. Isabel, Arkansas, and Gregory, Arkansas, her parents. Jane slid the knife from Jeff's gift into one of the long black boots she'd stolen from the hospital. From where? You know, the long black dominatrix boots that they have at the hospital. A weird question. When Vince dies, who will he leave his past to? You're talking about the M-word pass. Yeah, I think Fish has gone through enough shit. Give it to him. Nah, fuck Kobe. Are you talking about Kobe Bryant? Fuck that nigga. No. How did I forget that Kobe Bryant was dead? I take that back. I somehow confused Kobe Bryant with LeBron James. I don't watch basketball. Give me a break. I only know the popular guys. I watch real sports. I watch MMA and boxing and wrestling. Because then I could pretend I'm those guys and be big and strong. See that guy that's choking out Conor McGregor right now? That's me. Jane looked over at her shoulder. Who do you guys got against Conor against fucking the Poirier 2? Poirier 3. I'm hoping that Poirier comes out on the third time, but I don't think it's going to happen, honestly. I'm sorry, Jane moaned. Okay, where were we? Where were we? Jane set the knife into long, black stiletto boots. She crouched at her parents' grave and began to cry her eyes out even harder than she ever could. I'm sorry, Jane mumbled through the bitter tears of sadness and agony. I should have listened to you. She wiped the tears from her cold, pale cheeks, shaking her hands. You were right about Jeff. What are you talking about? They didn't say a goddamn thing about him. In fact, if anything, they've been nothing but, like, cordial and polite regarding Jeff. Like, you were the one that was insanely paranoid about Jeff. Jane's mind flooded with memories of her parents on her birthdays leading up to the present day. Those memories only acted as fuel to Jane's emotional fire. She then looked over her shoulder to see the graves of her three best friends. The names were Dinah Young, Mercy Bishop, and Erica Loomis. Loomis, as in Dr. Loomis? Bitch, you keep your fucking bullshit crap away from my precious Halloween franchise. They suffered enough. I mean, granted, we did have one good film that came out in 2018, but you know what I mean. Jane then looked over. Okay, they were all the exact same age that Jane was when they all met their gruesome demises at the hands of Jeff, 13 years old. Jane only sobbed more as what they did together and all the difficult things they had to deal with as friends. Jane only sobbed more as what they did together and all the difficult things they had to deal with as friends. I don't know what that sentence is supposed to be mean. To me, Mercy Bishop, yeah, that sounds like a fucking... That sounds like someone who's like on some kind of goth form. The thing that Jane did next, when she was still in the cemetery, was the very thing that gave her the very nickname that she sees people label her as all over forums and websites and stories, using her newfound rivalry of Jeff, Jane the Killer. Okay, yeah, Big Jane Lebowski, that's what everyone calls her now. So that's Jane's got burned for being a witch. Jane regrets what she did, but you can't turn back time that was already taking its course. Just as she climbed back to her feet after hours of grieving over the loss of her best friends and her caring family, somebody walked straight to Jane, causing her to stumble. She looked back at the figure who nudged her with a look of strong anger. Hey, look where you're going next time. The figure turned... God. The figure turned around to face Jane. The figure was a man wearing a long brown leather coat and shredded jeans. He also appeared to be bald in their late 20s. Bald in their late 20s? Who the fuck? I don't even know what stereotype you're trying to go for here. You got a pretty little voice there. The man takes a voice. You've got a pretty little voice there. The man with a broken Texan. It matches your sexy figure. Fine, I'll try to go to Google Larry voice. I don't remember if I can do it right. I'm not in the mood to be flirted with, okay? Jane said back in a reply. She sounded like she was about to yell at the man at any moment. I'm trying to mourn my friends. How much do you charge? The man asked, completely ignoring everything Jane said. I'm not a fucking prostitute. Jane yelled angrily at the man. I'm only 13. Oh, guys, this is really gonna go there, isn't it? Why not? You know what? Fuck it. Oh shit. Sorry. We've crossed that bridge several times on this channel. Let's not act like we're gun shy all of a sudden. The man didn't care though. He just saw Jane as an object. Just a quick one, okay? The man said, still begging for sex. Jane was in a full-on panic. She began to flee, but the man chased her. Eventually, he tackled Jane and tried to remove her black dress. Get the fuck off me! She screamed as tears began to run down her face. The man didn't care what Jane felt. He just wanted to get laid, and thought Jane would want to, too. Thought Jane would want to. To what? He removed one of the arm straps on Jane's dress and pulled down to reveal one of Jane's more drink. Okay, I didn't even put the cap on this. Why not? I need to get some water so I can not wake up with a fucking hangover. The first ever hangover I had was I was sitting with my mom and we were watching the last Halloween movie together. It was like late at night. I didn't have work in the morning, so I decided to stay up that day. And I was like drinking like this giant this giant mug of red wine, and mixed with I think Coca-Cola. And we were drinking it and we were watching the film, and like hours had ticked by and we were like having a good time, and I felt this pain in the back of my head and like the back of my eyes, and I described it to my mom. I was like, "Can I only just start drinking like the year prior?" And she's like, "Oh, you're getting that's a hangover, son." Like, "Oh, so this is what a hangover is." I'm just, "Oh, this is an interesting learning experience. I'm gonna go lay down now." Cheers, audience. I'm taking another. How many shots have I had now? A few. Oh. Ah, that's good. That didn't sound like a pleasant noise. Ah, that tastes so good. Red wine and Coke is actually more popular than you think. I'll show you right now. Red wine and Coke. Yeah, that's what it's called. Calamuxto. One cola. So it was one of those things. It's kind of like a Sloppy Joe's thing, where I think someone was at a fancy party, and they brought wine that was very dry, and it was very bitter. So to kind of make it a little bit more sweet, he poured some Coca-Cola in it, and it became a popular drink from that point on. I think it's good. It also depends on cause you also have to remember that sweet red wine is not red wine technically. Sorry, okay. Don't you fucking touch me! Jane screamed again. The man then, without warning, gripped onto Jane's pale, uncovered breast. Jane's mind then snapped, and her deepest animal instincts were revealed. All Jane could do now was kill. Are we really doing like some the cuties version of fucking the scene where Jeff kills Randy? Jane gripped the hilt of. We're talking about fucking Scottishman. I read that as kilt almost. Jane grabbed onto the hilt of the hunting knife that she had slotted by her boot. She pulled the knife out and plunged it into the man's side. You fucking whore! The man screamed in agony. Jane pulled the knife out of the man's side and used all the strength to shove the man to the side. Jane then got to her feet and covered her breast back up. She then walked up to the man, still clutching the knife. The man begged for help, but Jane had no sympathy towards the man, especially for what he tried to do to her. She then proceeded to repeatedly stab the man in the chest over and over again. Blood sprayed in all directions. The man, you guys can't see it, but I'm doing it in quotation marks every time. The man eventually took his final breath alive, and he went quiet. He was dead. Jane was his killer. This is like the worst fucking first kill that you could possibly make. When you think about like this from a you think that it'll be like set up like some thematic thing where it's like a Punisher type shit where we have the moment that really cements her dedication to finding Jeff and killing him or some shit, where she's willing to go through any low, I guess, in order to get closer to him, to finally put him down, where she'll swallow her moral center and just go hog wild on someone. But no, it's nothing thematic, nothing approaching anything that would resemble something like actual writing, I guess, or something, setting something up thematically. No, she just kills a guy who, like, on the spot, like literally minutes after she realized that her parents were buried. Like, oh, I'm just doing my biannual fucking strolls to the cemetery. Oh, look, a young innocent girl. I guess it's raping time. This is horse shit. She found the feeling of killing someone somewhat relaxing. She decided to see if the man she just murdered had any money. Her parents were dead, and she still had to survive under any circumstances, and Robbie did seem like a good option at this point. She found a reasonable amount to at least get Arkansas items to live off. What? Okay, well, hold on. I would not call... I love the Punisher. I would not call him a hero. So I'm collecting myself. She then decided, okay. Jane found a reasonable amount to at least get Arkansas items to live off. What are Arkansas items? Are those like items that were patented and sold and distributed by your family exclusively? Can I go to www.arkansas.com to get like the latest shipment of Arkansas brand butt plugs or some shit? Items to live off for at least a couple of weeks before she'd have to kill again. She just had to ration her food and money. Jane then removed her black contact lenses and threw them into the distance. I refuse to look like I'm possessed by a demon. Nowadays, Jane Arkansas just waits. She waits for the long... It feels like you're trying to take the piss. It feels like you're fucking with me here. Like, she waits for the long-awaited time for when she finally kills Jeff the Killer. He will pay for what he has done to Jane. He has ruined Jane's life. He should have died in that fire that turned him into the animal that he has become. And Jane will be the one who puts him down. Jeff will become the very creator of his own demise. Jane knows the most information about Jeff. What information? What does she know? Like, what does she know about Jeff that no one else? Like, okay, Jeff killed my family, and like he was my next door neighbor, and he had a brother. That's all the fuck she knows. This idea where like I know Jeff like the back of my hand. We go way back. I've known him since the turn of the century. What was this? Sarah Connor. Also, Jane will make sure that Jeff will go to sleep and never wake up. So yeah, that was bad. That was bad. When was this posted? I need to know. I can't know this. Hold on. Can I Google search this? Hold on. Is there a way to know? Oh God. Oh, you people encourage this. What's this? Mary Jane Kelly. What? Will it be the first victim of the notorious Jack the Ripper? Oh my goodness, this is interesting. Let's read it now. Why can't people write badass women who have been traumatized, raped by sexual assault? Because writing a compelling character with actual uh, uh, like discernible motives takes time, takes effort, and it takes skill. It takes a certain talent to be able to weave a narrative in such a way that you immediately put yourself in their shoes and empathize with the why and how of why they do what they do. Now, I think it's fair to say that a fair amount of people can do this, because I like to imagine that a fair amount of people are an understanding of what makes a good story to weave that kind of narrative. But then you have young people who only appreciate this kind of genre of storytelling at a superficial level. Like the kind of people who will like watch Stephen King's It or read the book, and the only thing to take away from it is, oh, I need to have a scary killer clown. Like, right, I'm not a biggest fan of those things, but still, you get what I'm saying. Well, the kind of people who, like, and we have actual examples of this, who watch the first Halloween film and think big scary guy with a knife and don't understand anything beyond that, and don't understand anything about pacing, about lighting, about atmosphere, about the presence that he has whenever, like the subtle things about his about the character that really makes him all the more effective, like the way he walks, the way he kind of like just sits there, the kind of things that clue you into his psychology and how fucked up he is. No, you to really get people involved instantly without actually having to put effort in, you have to have your characters undergo intense, immense trauma, the worst possible things that can happen, because you're almost forced to empathize with them at that point. Like, that's the only way I can describe it, because it's like when you have a story that involves like a young girl being, let's say, like example, being preyed upon by a sexual deviant, like a pedophile. Like, even if that girl has no character, it doesn't matter. You immediately get invested because that's your gut reaction as a decent human being. And if you don't get invested in that story, you almost feel like almost bad for your inability to do so, despite how horrible like something like that is. So that's why I hold certain writers like that who apply that shit in contempt, because it feels like they're trying to guilt trip you into wanting to be invested in it. And that's why I hate this story, and that's why I hate people who write shit like this. That's why Bean Daddy Mandela, Vince spitting straight facts. That's why good novels work a year or more on the books. These writers and the like, you guys, I worked all week on this. This is my magnum opus. Yeah. I don't think people realize how long it takes to actually write a genuine, like an actual novel. It takes a long time. Now, as I promised, I'm gonna... Oh, God, that looks terrible. I'm gonna show you some things from Mr. Angry Dog's thing. His DeviantArt page. And I want to make it very clear from the offset. Leave this guy alone. Don't harass him. Don't bother him. Don't go onto his channel. And I'm not even saying that like facetiously. I don't want anyone pestering anyone. But again, this shit is public domain. He put this up to for people to watch. So I feel at the very least I can comment and make fun of it. So, that's some of the stuff is kind of cringe, but, some of it's kind of cute, actually. Let's see if we can find... can we search? Hold on. Jane... Oh, right. Oh, it's right here. Jane Richardson. Jane the Killer. Yeah, here we are. And all this about his, self-insert... I can't call it self-insert, but... his OC character, Do Not Steal, like this weird, like the way that he like regards her as if she's an actual person, kind of weirds me the fuck out. And there's a lot of, like, you saw that right there. It's like 475 posts. Hold on. Jane Richardson killing is my business. Miss Richardson kneeling in front of a pot. Also, let's look at the picture actually. What is that from? What movie is that from? Wasn't that from one of the Tomb Raider films? I think the newest one, at least. Nice Photoshop, bro. Welcome to the Cuter Cringe with Vince 12. I need to make that an actual series. Cuter Cringe. He edited a stock image, yes. Mrs. Richardson kneeling in front of a pile of $100 bills totaling 10,000 per wad, holding dual pistols ready to fill a scumbag full of lead. As I mentioned previously, Jane's total net worth is $222 million, making her one of the richest ladies ever. Anytime someone gets ice, money gets wired into her account. Title inspired by Megadeth's Killing Is My Business, and business is good. Jane with the guns, the piles of money from a Kiss in Japan. Copyright disclaimer. Allowance for use of criticism and news. Well, I guess I'm good then, because I'm just here to offer criticism. I'm not fucking selling this shit. And these streams make me no money, homie, so you don't have to complain. How old is this post? Cause he's still, like, he's very much active on, like, I've never seen someone post so many things on shit like this. It's kind of admirable in a way. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is petty shit that he's on. Yeah, I'm not. You guys probably thought I was joking around when I talked about his vendetta against the, I think, Pasta Stalker 69 or 64 or whatever her fucking name was. Yeah, he does not like her. Again, the 14-year-old girl. He got genuinely upset when she, like, the Jane Arkansas character, and he, like, lost his fucking shit. Here it is. Like, look at this. Imagine, like, making a fake tombstone to a fictional fucking character. Like, not even, like, being funny, just out of spite. Get out of here. I don't want to... What would I even submit? Get out of here. Stop. You know who paid to have this tombstone carved with the epitaph you see here? Jane Richardson herself. Resting at the bottom of this gravestone is Jane Arkansas trademark mask. Don't worry, it isn't Maskey's mask. And she wears on Bert's face. There's only room for one Jane. Out there was a good one. Jane Arkansas didn't make any sense. Jane Arkansas as Maskey cosplaying as Jane. My reaction to to Arkansas, the faker Jane. Be gone, thought. Haha. Okay, cute. What the fuck? And wait, was she supposed to be dead? Whoops. And Mrs. Jameson paid for the tombstone too. No worries, you did nothing wrong. Update: Jane Arkansas was bought off by Jane Richardson. What the fuck? Proof that Jane Richardson off the imposter. Someone needs to put an end to this Jane shipping nonsense. There can be only one. I mean, I guess we agree on that, but it's the fuck. I bet Nana didn't get this. No, I don't think Nana even cared. Oh, that's a huge fucking discrepancy too. That's not fair. Nana ate whatever her name was, or whatever their name was. I don't even know what gender they are. Comparing that to Jane the Killer story, nah. Those videos are so fucking good. Yeah, so this is the official. So our Jane, Big Jane Lebowski. Yeah, she got off by Jane Richardson. So I guess we gotta stop using the voice now. That sucks. Oh, he made another one. This is pathetic. Jane, Arkansas, age 4, white, height in the woods, murder, physician Christopher Thorne. Victim was almost unidentifiable due to being nearly dismembered. Wow. One thing that you should know about Jane Richardson, she's very clever at playing mind games with her prey, especially her phony baloney imposter Jane Arkansas, starting with leaving caskets with a couple of stiffs dressed up and made to look like Jeff the Killer and Jane and Arkansas herself to keep her phone, keeping her on the phone and threatening the sniper if she so much as hangs up. Is that Jane the Killer is such a badass that she can fucking post the fucking Navy SEAL copy posts at people. What the fuck did you just say to me, you little bitch? I'll have you know that I graduated at the top of my class on the... I need to read that at some point in the Jane the Killer voice. This is another method that Mitch Richardson tossing her imposter. What does really happen? Anyway, Miss Arkansas is as good as dead. There can be only one. I read the story of Jane Arkansas. I thought it was actually the real story of Jane Richardson, but someone didn't know the real last name. Am I right or wrong? Jane Arkansas is dead. I'm sorry I got confused. Again, always remember, and I don't necessarily think it's fair to say this, but I think it's always funny to bear in mind with this kind of kawaii uwu shit. Remember that this dude is legit like 6'8". There's a, I don't want to show the picture of him. I don't want to like dox him on stream, but he's a huge dude. Like imagine like this giant weird like greasy looking dude. Well, like oh kawaii uwu. God, these people are so. I know cringe is overused, but if you happen to encounter a woman wandering a graveyard with a shovel and an LED lantern in the middle hours of the night, chances are she's not the gardener. Jane Richardson is clear to see her digging Jeff the Killer's grave. She does indeed dig Jeff, a burial slot. That's not even that good of an edit. Like, I could like literally when it feels like I can do better, that's a problem. As a fan fiction based on leather, someone liked the story and there wasn't anything else on Jane, so Pasta Stalker made her own story for fun. Pink Chainsaw. I didn't know the story behind that. All I know is that Mr. Angry Dog legit like threatened a 14-year-old with violence because he was upset that she made a fan story. I want to see more. Oh no, Liquid Hate. What? Oh, this is topical. So see, I'm a nice guy. This is an example of why I am unquestionably better than the bad creepypasta crew. All right, they like let's laugh at Liquid Hate. Ah ha ha, it's so silly. But me, I do my research. I open up the textbook. I open it up. I show you people, and I break it down through logic and science what Liquid Hate really is. So let's look at it. Liquid Hate increases increased stamina, health, speed, agility. Okay, all right. Other results: increased alcohol, drug, tobacco tolerance, running faster than a track athlete, taking on human appearances, accelerated healing, limb regeneration, increased metabolism. All right. Subject will experience for the first minute and 30 seconds, violent episodes of homicidal tendencies, but will act and appear normal once the episodes relax. Over 25 receptors will die because of serum Liquid Hate, but also, I'm saying, No, 20-something-year-old lady survives. There's sort of playable eyes. So there's literally no downside to this besides like it not being, yeah. So the the Jane and Mary is him making fetish art. Yep. I don't know. It's kind of, it's very much, I guess, cliche. To, is he wearing a Nazi uniform? Yes, he is. I thought we were past that. Unironically putting it happy. Story I was delivering, man. Just take a piss out of it and keep Mr. Widemouth out of this. I like Mr. Widemouth. But I don't even know what to make of this. Like, it's oh Jesus Christ! I didn't even see that. Okay, let's get that off screen. God damn it! Like I was trying to say, what is this? Jane's gonna be Falcon and the Winter Soldier. No. Because people aren't gonna be good. Well, I haven't seen enough. Then again, this guy might complain if Jane the Killer came out as white. As black or something like that. I don't want a black Jane the Killer. But, like, it's cliche to constantly compare every weirdo on the internet as Chris Chan, but I can only... That's the only person I can think... The reverence that he gives his fictional character and the way that he talks about them like they're a real person, like, it makes you really wonder if this guy has a similar thing with Chris Chan, where... And the vitriol he showed Pasta Stalker just because she made a fan story. Like, it makes me really wonder. Hold on. I would say, I guess he's more talented than Chris Chan. That's not really saying much, though. Just released on Jane's YouTube channel, a vocal cover she did of When I See You Smile by Bad English, which is one of Mary's favorite power ballads. Did you know that when Jane was in high school, she sung this song during the school's talent show with the Lost Beyond the Stars bandmates, and in the middle of the song, Miss Richardson's eyes were fixed on Mary's as she watched from the crowd. Oh, look at that. That's romantic, isn't it? But, like, has anyone killed off characters like Chris Chan did? No, because... I don't know, I think it's a tribute to the fact... Like, I don't know how to explain it. I guess Creepypasta is not as big a fandom as Sonic. So and Sonic and Pikachu, or Sonic and Pokemon are such big fandoms that I think it was inevitable that people would eventually take notice of Chris Chan's work, at least by cultural osmosis. But the same can't be said for Mr. Ring. Like, I don't think people have really like I know people that are fans of Jane the Killer, the character, but not that many people talk about the guy who originally made the story, or even the original story itself. And I think that it can be attributed to the fact that this creepypasta as a fandom is not nearly as big to actually catch people's eye like that. Like, even big channels like Mr. Angry, like not Mr. Angry Dog, Mr. Creepypasta, I don't know many people outside of folks who are already in the fandom who are in the know regarding Mr. Creepypasta, or even some of the controversies that he's kind of got embroiled in. That's because, like, we're still a relatively small fandom. Well, I say we, I'm not a part of it, fuck. The worst thing I think of the girl was harassing. He threatened to apologize to him, like, what the and threatened apologize. Yeah, I remember. Like, but the thing about Mr. Angry Dog is that, again, and I'm going based on my personal interaction with him, and it's been a long time ago. I think about, damn, maybe like 6 years since I last talked to him. It's been a long time. I'm trying to, like, break it down in my head. I think it's probably fair to say, like, maybe 6 years ago. Dude's all bark and no bite. He will bitch at you relentlessly. The moment you actually, like, call him out on his bullshit, though, he'll, like, do a snide comment at you, and then he'll block you. That's what he did with me. And all I wanted, I didn't even like went hard on him. Like all I wanted to confront him on using his like autism as an excuse for being a shit person to people. And then the moment I tried to like talk to him, all I said was, "Hey man, I got a bit of a bone to pick with you." Like, and then he said like, "Oh, you people are never fucking satisfied," and he blocked me. So I don't take them seriously as like a quote unquote threat. What the fuck? It looks like someone who had. This looks like fucking what's that dickhead's name? What's the name of that YouTuber? A Lillipede, I think that's their name. Who's like an even dumber, more psychotic version of Movie Bob in terms of their views. That's what I thought this was. I thought it was an edited version of that. Okay, so why do I have Gordon Ramsay as a part of the kitchen crew along with Jane and Mary Richardson? Well, Gordon Ramsay is not only one of the best chefs and culinary innovators in the world, he is also a badass. It takes no shit from anyone, and he cusses like a sailor. If you're wondering, yes, Jane is nude under that purple and black apron, and Mary an all-around cute-looking chef. Look at this Photoshop job. This is... And you can tell this. Hold on, I'm gonna look something up real quick. Give me 1 second. I gotta look it up on incognito naturally. I think he literally took an image from sexy chef costume, one of those joke costumes that they put up for Halloween. These look very similar, but not quite. Hold on. Oh, not that one. It looks like it. Hold on. Sexy chef. Oh, my shot glass. Oh no, I can't drink anymore. Sexy chef costume, kiss the cook. I still think that's what he took it from. Wait a minute, is that it? Wait, oh, wait a minute, here it is. Yes, that's it. Yeah, here it is. It's on Pinterest. Here it is. Hold on, I don't know if I can. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Right here. Look at it. Look, yeah. This dude fucking took an image off of the fucking Halloween costumes and passed it off, and he didn't even fucking use that Photoshop. God. That's magical. That's wonderful. I'm not gonna drink anymore because I think I've had enough. But I'm gonna have the rest of this here apple cider though. It's pretty good. No, too sweet. Oh yeah, that's. I don't think he has the fucking fair use warning on this one though. To be fair. What the fuck? Naked Apron. See tvtropes.com for details. Awesome. Interesting enough, I have a Ruby original character that has black and purple color palette. XD. This website cultivates all kinds of folks, doesn't it? Oh, what's this? Office building in LA. Let's see. What? Just married. Okay. A big heart. Okay, what's the story behind this one? Shortly after the wedding ceremony was over at Father Malone's church, news spread out about Jane Richardson getting married, hit this corporate office building, and they decided to respond. Impressive. Again, like, it's the fact that this dude is like creating an entire world for this Mary Sue character that is like awesome at everything and like conquers everyone. And it's like some kind of unstoppable badass. Fun stuff. Okay, I like fun. Also, Richardson Television. Wow. WMVC, Virtual Channel 28, UHF Digital Channel 3, is an owned and operated station and production facility based out of Washington, D.C., a station owned by Richardson Television, a division of Richardson Enterprises. Oh, well, damn, I guess she's making big paper, bro. Why is he role-playing in the comments? Did you forget what website this is on, homie? Oh, wow. Jane is, without a doubt, one of the richest women ever. A smiley face. As far as I'm concerned, Mrs. Richardson's next two magazine covers will be a Forbes and Fortune wink. The title of the deviation is a reference to Clint Eastwood's film Fistful of Dollars. Enjoy. All images are public domain. Oh wow, that's pretty recent. Can I? Yeah, let's. Oh, that's actually award a badge. Yeah, why not? Give him to him. He deserves it. I don't care. Okay, what is this? Oh my goodness. Jane the Killer is a progressive sort. That's good. This feels like a parody of Sonichu. No, Sonichu had some level of coherency because... I don't know. Sonichu is interesting because you get to really dissect Chris Chan's brain through the pages of his magnum opus. This dude is like weaving an entire narrative, and I don't think he writes that many stories, is the weird thing. Empress Theresa versus Jane. I'd read it. As far as American Nightmare making her debut is concerned, Mrs. Richardson decided to cosplay the badass World War II vixen Riveter Rosie. Riveter Rosie was a fucking image put on a steelworks mill. It was an advertiser image, and that got eventually kind of co-opted into this feminist icon. People who take it seriously, like I think they really need to reevaluate themselves. Oh shit. Oh no, I didn't mean to close that. Can we reopen the closed tab? Yay, we can. I need to go back. No, I don't want to... I want to join DeviantArt. That sounded whiny, like I was like in distress, like, oh, I want to join DeviantArt. Please. Okay. This doesn't look... I don't understand how this relates to Jane the Killer, but what is this? Both image of like... alternate technology owned by some... Like, do we really need to know about their fucking television, too? Like, that's a... Like, hey, by the way, guys, Jane the Killer owns this specific brand of television. Oh, look what Jesse made for Jane. Okay. As previously mentioned, like her sister-in-law Mary, Jessie is an artist too. After spending well over 2.5 months doing the most epic, badass portrait of her sister Jane and Mary together, Jessie thought of doing a portrait of them in the best way she knew how, by combining her love of graphic novels, fantasy movies, and fantasy artwork. On a small table, the frame colored pencil drawing? Colored pencil drawing. Well, man, what? Hold on. Is that an image from Deathstalker 2? Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. It looks like something from Deathstalker 2. No, it's not. That does look like the I think the sorceress character from Deathstalker. A little bit, I guess. No, I'm looking at it, not that much. That looks so familiar, though. I'm wondering if it's, But yeah. I don't know why I got so hung up on that. If you're wondering what Mary Art says, I don't care. I'm done. I'm done with this now and forever. I like how somber the music is. Okay. Jane Richardson is a fucking lesbian. I'm just imagining someone getting very upset and holding someone up at gunpoint. Jane Richardson is a fucking lesbian, and her and Jeff the Killer aren't dating. Like this is something that Mr. Angry Dog takes very seriously, and he wants you to know. He wants you to have it burned in your fucking memory that Jane the Killer is in fact a lesbian, and you are not to ship her with Jeff ever, under pain of death. Remember, Christine said the comic was anything you want to have a job, girlfriend, like, but she depicted herself as a loser. Well, that was just a drum of sympathy. Like, I think it's apparent that Walter's getting sick of Jeff and Jane shippings. Like, he does this shit with, like, actual people, too. Like, well, I guess it's not technically, it's a character, but still. Like, from other works. Like, other people in other works love Jane the Killer, too. Is there another... Oh my god, was there another Ginger Dead Man film? Oh... Oh, was it? Ricky does to Jane the Killer. Jane hater pwned. Hey, even Ricky loves Jane the Killer. Rio, the story of Ricky. Me, I hate Jane. Fly to Sunny Forest so he can protect me. Ah, it's already a speedster. Fly to shoot. Okay, freaking that. Damn, I like Jane better now. By the way. Woo! Oh, wait. Hold on. I'll never forget this one. This is the best one. Jane, any fans of wrestling here? Huh? Okay. During one episode of WWE Raw, during a commercial break, John Cena. Met with Jane Richardson in a backstage area after hearing the news that Brock Lesnar had his aunt handed to him on a silver platter by Jane. And for people, there are people I know who aren't familiar with who Brock Lesnar is. So let me just pull up an image. Jane beat the shit out of Brock. Jane. Like, anytime you think of the Beast incarnate, like, people message Brock Lesnar on his private Twitter account. Don't tell him I sent you, and tell him that you're a bitch, Brock. Jane the Killer whooped your ass, and send him this little bit of text as proof. It said so, and you know, this man's only spitting out straight facts. If I can't trust Mr. Angry Dog, who can I trust? Why has a serial killer been written to make famous people? Because it's a Mary Sue. Hold on. Can we find a ground? Imagine this is Jane the Killer in the Octagon with Brock. Makes you feel a little bit better. This is funny. This scrawny, pale chick, goth chick, being waylaid like this. Although I don't really like this image that much because Brock cheated in that fight by having performance enhancing drugs in the system against Mark Hunt, who has been one of the most cheated fighters in the history of MMA. But we're not going to get into that. Look up Jane Cena. She is better. Okay, why not? You can't do this to me. You can't do this to me. I'm only one man. I can only handle so much. Okay, where were we? Jane Richardson, okay. Leaving him with shattered knuckles and a torn quad. Seeing a successful victory was a result of tearing Stephanie Man... What? Whoa! Holy shit! Was a result of her tearing... Hold on. Oh, okay. Cena's successful victory was a result of her tearing Stephanie McMahon limb from limb and heavily barricading the remainder of the authority in the office. Jane will do anything to help her favorite superstars and divas. As you can see, the leader of the nation, stood in silence. The leader of the nation stood in silent awe. Oh god, I can't make the image bigger. I think I can. Hold on. This is silent awe, by the way. Hold on. Cena stood in silent awe of Jane the Killer. Wait, what's now on stream? Almost. What's on the stream? I can't see. It's almost like it's time now. Oh, fuck. It took me a second, you fucker. You think you're slick? You think you can hit me with the 1-2 and a 3-piece from soda and get away with it? Apple cider jeans, boots with the fur. Anyone remember Flow Rider? No? Good. Let's spike the rest of this. I'm done. I drank way too much. I've been buzzed, but I've never been drunk. I don't want to know what I'm like when I'm drunk. Remember John Cena beat up Fred? It would be funny if he did that to Jay. I almost forgot about that. That they promoted the hell out of Fred. Anyone even fucking remember Fred? Sorry, oh. Where were we? Sorry. That was a fake Twitter. Guess which WWE superstar left me a package containing 185 bottles of O'Hara's Cloudtic Stout on my front door? Yep, Sheamus himself, XD, or smiley face. Me, Mary, and my little sister Jane will drink one for you, my Celtic warrior buddy. A tweet from Jane's Twitter page says it all. Comment flag to spam. I want to see! I want to see! Okay, Maddox, what? Maddox Cartwright. Oh, I don't care. I thought it was like making fun of Maddox or talking about Maddox. That would have been something. They weren't at all. They just Mary Sue and burned her at the stake. Bray Wyatt. Hey there, giant Miss Richardson. That was one hell of a match you and I had on Raw. You kicked some serious ass. Even Luke Harper, oh, God rest his soul, and Eric Rowan were amazed. My wife says hi. She hopes you're okay. Good job in your match against Bray Wyatt, Miss Jane. I'm surprised Marco Cole didn't start pissing himself at the sight of your big wolf friend. Lol. I can't read the rest of this. It's too cringy. I can't. There was one. Is this the one where it talks about Brock Lesnar saying like, "Hey, best friend, you sure have kicked my ass." Nikki Bella, Charlotte Flair, Kofi Kingston, Rey Mysterio. All these people just really love Jane the Killer, don't they? Like, she has no foibles whatsoever. She has no flaws. Okay, can we... Is there anything else? Okay, at least that wasn't like Jim. What's this? Okay, Jane... Like, this is what I was talking about, the creepy shit. Jane Richardson, 8 weeks old, like, again, like, she's a... This dude looked up, like, baby photos to, like, snag one and edit it to make it look like it was this fictional character. adorable kawaii. Like, I can't be the only one that thinks that it's fucking creepy, right? The fact that this guy like looks up pictures of real people and then edits them to look like it's not even like, okay, I'm just doing this for like an image for the photo, like the character that I know is fake, but he treats them like they're fucking real. What's this? Jane the Killer takes Hugo out for, like, she has a dog, and like these edits are getting even lazier. Jane giggling. Jane goes camping. Jane the Killer caught in the rain. What? Jane the Killer? Jane the Killer talks to the press. As you can tell, she never turns down an interview. Okay, all this is... I am too drunk for this. I'm not even that drunk, but I'm still too drunk for this. Yeah, Jane the Killer is a lesbian. What do you care? Like, who gives a fuck that... Who gives a fuck about the sexual orientation of a person who doesn't exist? Like, it's a... Hold on. So you think that Jane the Killer's a Mary Sue, do you? Well, ain't that the pot called the kettle black? You haters can bite my shiny metal at, like... What? Let's give it up for Bender, everyone. What? That... What does that mean? Like, in relation to what? Like, what if... You can't say that to people who aren't Jeff the Killer fans. I hate Jeff the Killer and I hate you. So, where do we go from there? Yeah, I know the anime character creator. Hold on. Oh, the horrible Jay the... You... What? This horrible Jane the Killer story ripoff was a Mary Sue, but not the original. What? Was a Mary Sue, but not the original. Are you... I don't know how many of you folks actually read. I'm sure everyone on the stream has watched the latest bad creepypasta video. What was it? Born of Science, Jane the Killer. You know how it goes. Well, this Mary Sue shit. Oh, that's not Mary Sue's yet. The Arkansas one is. You can go fuck a cactus. Like, I understand, want to defend your internet BFF or whatever for your stupid fuck like garbage like Mary Sue like waifu character, but don't fucking lie to yourself like that. Come on. So you're trying to tell me is the reason why girls think Slenderman and Jeff the Killer will marry is because they were scared of getting a boyfriend IRL? Nigga, you ain't got no room to talk. Because last time I'm going to say this. Mr. Angry... Oh, here we are. Okay, this is the last time I'm going to say this. Mr. Angry Dog Designs created Jane the Killer. Pasta Stalker 64 play Dryster. I feel your pain, sweetie. It's a shame that Watson, in the glory, with a few shits and giggles. Are you a 90s or a millennial kid? Okay, didn't write... I didn't write the awful content about posting a horrible Jane Killer story. I didn't write that god up. You fucking... And this is... Okay, I was about to say, like, okay, this is from, like, back then, so I guess he... No, this is from... Again, 2018, so you had years to kind of reevaluate your position. Fuck you. You fucking delusional asswipe. Like, that Jane the Killer story was absolute shit, but it was leagues better than your horse shit. I don't even feel like being nice about it anymore. Fuck you. Like, there's a whole saying about stones and glass houses. Like, you didn't even cast a stone. You have a house that's made out of fucking sugar glass. You have a house that's made out of sugar glass and wheat tins, and you're throwing fucking rocks around. You pious, self-righteous piece of horse shit. Why did I say pious? That didn't make sense. But you forgive me now. What? Emoji. Oh, sorry. I didn't write that god awful story. I'm assuming, and you didn't answer my question. I was asking why people you think Megan. Forgive me. I'm not with him tonight. Damn Tide Pod generation, nigga. Oh, you. This. It's that ego I can't stand. Like, oh, that story is so shit compared to mine. Fuck you. My opinion, whatever. I'm seeing how old this is. Cause I want to... Hold on. I need to find... I want to see if there's pasta... Stalker 64. I want to see if I can find the interaction she had with Oh, what is this? I'm trying to see. I want to see if I can find the original interaction those two had. Because again, like, I remember reading that he's saying, like, oh, you're lucky I don't beat your ass. To a 14-year-old fucking girl. You fucking mouth-breathing fuck whistle. Again, he fails to understand that Pasta Stalker liked the story and made a fanfiction and enjoyed because there wasn't much out there. Yeah. Yeah. This stupid, goofy shit. And again, like, there are plenty of times where there's a piece of, like, I guess poorly made media that I give a pass, and I don't get this vitriolic, because the person who made them is making it in earnest, and seems to, like, have some level of self-awareness, and is trying to... Oh, good night, Manny. And, like, is trying to be nice about it. Thanks for having me on the stream, Bean Daddy. Always good having you. I think, yeah, I had a good birthday. You made the stream worth it talking to you guys. But I hate people with this kind of attitude. This smarmy, fucking egotistical bullshit. Is this recent? Okay, he's still posting shit. That's good. Hold on, let me see. Let's see if we can, like... do you have to be signed in to, like, search something? Oh, no you don't. Let me see. Pasta Stalker. No, surprisingly not. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, look at this. Again, I'm not dredging this up to make him look bad. Okay, ooh, look at this. What's this? Stand with other Nazi leaders of the power in Nuremberg. Yeah, this is what we brought up numerous times in the fucking both in the video that I was in and this one. Creepypasta babies. The skin. Oh, you remember the fucking skin taker? My favorite thing about the skin taker was the fact that he was from the Nazi regime. Yeah, remember that? Nazi symbol parody. Nazi chic is all about fashion. Oh no, he disabled the comments on this one. I'm obsessed with the history of Nazi Germany. I've been fascinated with the Staffelstil and the Panzer Luftwaffe. That does not make me a fucking Nazi. Again, I feel the need to point out, as I have done many times before, I don't think that yeah, I don't think that literally posting your characters in front of like this is about style. Well, you know, let's stop harping on about this obvious Yeah, let's stop harping on about this and let's get back to Jane the Killer. I mean, that's why we're here, isn't it? Oh, who? I don't know who this is. Get out of here. I don't know this person. You're not the target for my hate. What's his favorites? Okay. What? This is. Ooh. Okay, nothing. Okay, fan shit. What the fuck is this? Rick and Morty. Oh, this is interesting. Could he not? I mean, you're asking a lot from JC the Hyena. I thought that was like Car for a second. I almost like burst out into hysterics. That would have been perfect. Just like, I don't know, just like Linkar, Mr. Angry Dog, Fear the Black Wolf, excuse me. He very much respects the ladies. When he was bullying a 14-year-old girl into apologizing for making a fan story, I just imagine like, so did you learn your lesson? You keep that man's name out of your mouth. What is it? Is that Divine? The fuck? Okay, I'm done. Like, let's get back to this gallery. It's like that girl who flashed the money when she robbed the bank, but she was like, "How did you find me?" And the police came to arrest her. That's happened so many times, like, you can't even quantify it. Let's see his recent stuff. That'll be cool. He's still posting stuff about the Richardson family. Still, after all this time. Hold on, we saw this one. How old was this? Okay, that was from September 22. And his newest thing is right here. And it is from 6 days ago. My goodness. I don't know, to be fair, this one, I don't know, it seems original. It looks pretty... I guess it's kind of muddled in regards to its composition, but it doesn't seem that bad. It's not some obsessive Jane the Killer bullshit. Also, oh, here we go. Richardson Foods. She owns her own restaurant too, guys. This dude. This dude. So, you know what? I think it's only fitting, because I think I've been going for like, going on 3 hours now. And I've been walking in circles because I've been getting fucking drinking. And I will, let's cap this off with an actual story, okay? Let's actually like read something instead of just, does he have any actually written stories? What is this? What the fuck is this? I'm used to using the Bundy Patriarch to get my rant across. Long story short, my neighbors who live across from me have been helping me out since 2010 and 11, getting me to where I need to go because I do not have a car or access to public transit in my area. So on this day, my neighbor brings up the subject of me never offering her gas money, which was never brought up, and lying about her vehicle suffering wear and tear when I heard nothing was wrong with the van. When someone you know for years to help you, they do it out of the kindness of their heart, not ask anything in return. Go! You are a piece of work. The more I dig down deep to try to find some depth, to find the light. Like, I'm one of those idiots that actually believes that if you dig down, like, maybe we'll find a little shaft of light to indicate that what we're doing isn't a waste of time. But you're such a shithead. Laziness. They're the lazy ones? And this is, again, right here, 2018. And they ask, driving you around. I think... Yeah. Dickhead. I think, after a point, when I'm driving you around, I think it's only fair, after a while, the least you could do is contribute and give a little bit of gas money. I don't you can, like, I'm sorry, you know what, I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. Translate to, go fuck yourself. I think, you know, they're a lot nicer than I would have been. I would have straight up told you to your fucking face to go fuck yourself. You are such a fuck. God, hate is a strong word. I don't like this guy. Fuck him. I thought I would, like, legit, I'm not even fucking around. I thought I would come back after, like, years of not even, like, engaging with this dude. I'm not thinking about him. And I would just, like, you know what? I went too hard. I got carried away. I think I overblew my dislike of this dude. No. Fuck Mr. Angry Dog. It's such a fucking lech. You piece of shit. You layabout fucking worthless sack of protoplasm. And again, it's not like necessarily what he does. It's also the attitude he has. This weird entitlement shit. Fuck you. Like, oh, well, it's all someone said. All someone said. All your fucking neighbors said. Again, like, I can't imagine, like, having a for like a better part of a year drive me around offering nothing in return. And then the day that they tell me that they can't do it because they have a life outside of me, all of a sudden, it's a fucking problem. All of a sudden, like, oh, like, fuck these people. They're like, they're the leeches. You fucking giant waterbed-looking, water-headed fucking asswipe. I dislike you with every tired muscle in my body. If you were to disappear tomorrow from the face of the earth, I would not feel a damn thing. And that was really too mean, and I actually take that last part back. This guy drank liquid hate. Talking to me, Fireball has made me very, very chill, actually. No, I went too far with that last one, seriously. I don't wish ill. I try not to wish ill on anyone. Like, unless, like, to my knowledge, like, I honestly don't, and I have no reason to think otherwise, Mr. Angry Dog has never, like, outwardly hurt anyone or done anything untoward to anyone. So, I don't think he's contemptible enough to actually earn my ire to the point where I can, like, justify wishing harm on him. But, God, this dude is such a fucking pissant. And happened earlier to the years these people were helping him out. And the one time they couldn't, all of a sudden it's a problem. And he fucking, because he's a two-faced, duplicitous piece of shit, he decided to go online and rant about his, like, what the fuck? Awarded while those who were trying to get by screwed around over loyalty. Fuck you. Fuck you. I hope your fucking neighbors found out about this and chewed your ass out over it. And they should, because you're a fucking dipshit. I have people, I was blessed to have neighbors that, like, looked out for me when I was going through some really heavy shit. And the times where they couldn't be out there, not once did it occur to me to fucking, like, reprimand them for not being able to help me. They didn't even tell, like, they told you, I'm sorry, I can't do it anymore. That's as fair as it can get, you fucking piece of garbage. Everything about this dude is it's amazing. It's amazing how how like all I knew about him was like, oh, he's a fucking Nazi fetishist dude. Let's laugh at him. Like, it's so pathetic. Like, there are people that like have, I guess what you can consider reprehensible views, but you have to always bear in mind that they're people, right? Like, there's more to them than just the I believe X. Unless it's something like pedophilia, in which case I think there's nothing you say is worth a damn, as far as I'm concerned. But when it comes to like politics and whatnot, like, I think like people are multifaceted. So I dig down, like I peel the layers of the onion back, and like, what was that? Who said that saying that life is like an onion, you peel back one layer at a time, and sometimes you cry. When you peel an onion, typically you find more layers of onion. Like, I am finding like Mr. Angry Dog is like an onion that looks bad on the outside, and you peel it back and you like, maybe it'll be fresher, and somehow it's more rotten on the inside than it is on the outside. Like, that's amazing. You are you are amazing. I need to chill the fuck out. I'm not getting my blood sugar up for no damn reason. Yeah, this is, get out of here. Is this? Hold on, I'm just listening to the song right now. This sounds like, okay, I thought this was actually literally what's it called? I thought that was like the song of healing, but it's like, not every reverse song is a song of healing. You dumb motherfucker. Okay. So I love how I just bumbled into that too. Like, oh, let's read one of Mr. Angry Dog's stories so I can like kind of like trim down my vitriol towards him. And then I stumble upon this shit, and I lose my fucking mind. Like, did you guys turn onto the stream? It says, let's read Jeff the Killer stories. And I, like, well, first of all, I've been mostly focused on Jane the Killer. Might need to change that fucking thing to begin with. Nah, I'll keep it. I just really love the Photoshop I did of a certain internet celebrity. Instead, I've been like ranting about Mr. Angry Dog and Jane the Killer. Is this what we read? Is it what we read for the channel? Hold on. Yeah, right here. This is what I was talking about earlier. The new killer is funny, but are you talking about it's okay if I suggest a badge of the killer inspired? Fuck it. What is it? I don't give a damn. Oh, you're talking about the new... Oh, is that what the story's called? The new killer? Okay, hold on. The new killer. Story. Where can I find it, if you don't mind me asking? As well, like before, while you're telling me, I'm gonna mention it. This is the story that we read on the channel with I read on the channel with Third of Clubs and MD Phantasm, and this is the part I was talking about where Jane the Killer gives birth to, I guess, Jeff's baby. 9 months later, on the cold, lifeless morgue, with the two criminally insane humans walk the face of the earth. Coroner, blah blah blah. Cause of death, childbirth. So yeah, there's your answer. I don't know a single thing about Dead by Daylight. I just know that Polygon needs to die. Polygon, Kotaku. Really? I mean, they closed what? I refuse to believe that. What? What the fuck? Why? Blah, blah, terms of service, blah, 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 inactive. The Wiki was very inactive at little to no content. Photos, the 5K pages, and there's this one right here that has how many in comparison? Like 116? It better not have been some stupid bullying shit. Okay, hold on. Remember when they deleted the Troll Pasta Wiki? Because they saw the word troll and they didn't like investigate any further than that? Because the fandom like website is full of shit and is incompetently ran. God, I hate these people. I just want to think about how using the word hate is too strong, but I guess I can hate a concept. This isn't too long. This is perfect. Okay. This is how I was made a killer. I swore. This is how I was made a killer. I swore an oath to try and kill Jeff the Killer with Jane because the story is how he made me one of the killers. When Jane was sent to the hospital because of the blazing house of Jeff's, I saw the entire thing. I was watching, but she never noticed me because her eyes were focusing at Jeff and his knife tapping the window of his house. He was also looking at her with a devious smile. I could wait, what? Okay. I'm blinking a few times. Okay. My glasses hopefully are. My sister insisted that I go and take an actual eye exam, and we have the fucking stimulus money coming in, like put it to actual like practical use, and I went and got prescriptions filled and whatnot, and my eyeglasses should be coming in this week hopefully. I do need eyeglasses. My right eye can only like read large print. I can read well enough with my right eye. It's just that it's blurry. Oh, okay. Like I'll do it right now. Jeff twitched his head and looked at me. Looked away for a second, but okay. And the next thing I knew was that, like, you see how I slow down a little bit more than I usually do. I knew that Jane went out her house with a kitchen knife. I was thinking, Jane, don't go in there. You'll get your freaking self killed. Yourself freaking killed. But it was too late, and she was hesitating as she was about to open the door. And then the next thing I knew, she went in, and about an hour or so, I heard screaming, and the voice of an elf. No, I didn't I thought I misread that. No. I heard screaming, the voice of an elf. Okay. I wonder if I can... Hold on. I'm trying to think of no, don't open that. One second, I'm sorry. Okay. bringing up a song to play at the end of the stream. Very important that I do this. Very important. Why did you hear Orlando? Why don't you... Wait, you guys don't randomly hear Orlando Bloom's voice from time to time? The next thing I knew was that the fire trucks were swarming in the whole neighborhood, and everyone was looking at the blazing house, and the flames were so powerful. And the next thing I knew, there were several bodies burned, pulled out of the house, including Jane, but she had a white face. Jeff must have bleached her hair and set her on fire to her face. But I forget all about it all because I was so tired and put it aside and just went to sleep. Oh no! Oh no! Jane, don't go in there! Jeff's gonna murder you! And oh my god, there's a fire next door! Oh no! Jane, she's been burnt alive! Oh shit. It's 12 at night. I better, I'll deal with this in the morning. What? I'm just like, I would go ask how she's doing, but I got work in the morning. I gotta be up a certain time. I gotta do a double shift at IHOP, making my special pomegranate pancakes. This is Jane Arkansas, the real Jane the Killer, the OG Jane the Killer. You hear me, you fucking delusional muppet? Fuck you, Jane Richardson. Fuck your OC character. I'm officially on the Jane Arkansas bandwagon. I'll ride that shit to the end. Pasta Stalker 64. If you ever hear this, give me a shout. I'll talk to you. Like, by all means, I would like to talk to you for the channel. Like, I won't like coerce you into saying like negative shit about him, but I really want to know like what you've been up to since then. Like being bullied by some stupid dipshit who couldn't handle the fact that his story gets fan fiction. When I woke up, I gasped, and I was shocked. And I trembled, trembled in fear as I looked to the side of my wall that was wrote in blood saying, "I'm going to enjoy killing you today, Jeff. The guy's name could be Jeff. It could be a weird coincidence. They're two Jeffs, same block. Both of them end up being killers. I was so nervous when I went out of my room, forgetting to wear my clothes. And then I went into the dining room, and I was screaming and sobbing as I looked at my parents and siblings. They were all dead. Jeff, you've gone too far. Oh, help me. Jeff, you've got... I can't. I can't look at it. I can't look at this. Hold on. Can I zoom in on it? No. Where is it? Oh, fuck this zoom in system. Okay. I would like to point out that the language read today does not reflect the views of the channel. Let's just say... Okay. Jeff, you've gone too far, you gamer word. I thought to myself as I was being claustrophobic of thinking of Jeff and killing my family at night. What? I thought to myself as I was being claustrophobic thinking of Jeff killing my family at night. I wasn't prepared for this. I wasn't. My family's faces were carved with smiles, just like Jeff's smile. And I saw last night. Plus they had bloody torso is size of a basketball, and I was paralyzed with fear. So called the cops. So called the cops because I was having thoughts that Jeff would kill me by surprise when I was talking. So I went to my room looking at his writing once more. I was so furious. I punched the wall so hard that my fist went it, and I would throt it, and I thought to myself, tonight at midnight, Jeff, I'm Jeff, tonight at okay. I thought to myself, tonight at midnight, Jeff, I'm going to assassinate you for doing this to my family. So I just put on my clothes and went to school after the incident that happened to my beloved family. I'm not going to tell my friends, though, because it was my business. I had to settle it at midnight, but I could not stop frowning because every second I was thinking about my family and their carved smiles. Even at recess and lunch, even recess, this kid didn't call the police. He just woke up in the middle of the night, found his parents mutilated, and went back to sleep, and then went to school the next day. His bodies, their bodies are still lying strewn out all over the fucking living room. And his first thought, I don't think you guys really register the weight of what happened. He went to sleep, got up, went into the shower room, brushed his teeth, in the bathroom, took a shower, got dressed, ate some breakfast, put his clothes, his backpack on. You have to check to make sure he's got all his school books, and went to school. Walked to school probably. I don't know. Maybe wait for the maybe he waited for the school bus, and he did all this while his siblings and his fucking parents were in pieces all over his house. That's what we're dealing with here. Okay. Well, okay, I'm sorry, where were we? I'm not gonna. Okay, still frowning. I didn't bother to play, and after a while, my friends came to sit down and said, "What happened, Amer?" Amer? Well, he did use the F word, okay, I think I can solve the riddle here. It said Amer. Watch this. Gamer! He also said like a slur. So that makes it makes perfect sense. I didn't reply at all. Then some girls came and asked me the same thing, but I just walked away. At the end of school, I just ran to my house because I couldn't be bothered wasting my time telling to Yim friends and saying goodbye at all. It was 12 o'clock at midnight, and I had a knife in my hand gripped tightly, ready to Why would he come back? He already killed all your family. Ready to assassinate. I think assassinate. Hold on. Something ain't right. There's two S's in there's four S's in assassinate. Hold on. Yeah. Ready to assassinate, Jeff. I heard a shatter. Why would he need to shatter the door? He fucking... fun fact, the author claimed to be 10 years old, and his siblings read it and never said anything about the F word. ready to. I like a 10-year-old using the word assassinate. That's hilarious to me. He then heard a shatter, and I was ready to take him on. He opened the door to my room and said his phrase, "Go to sleep." And he tried to aim at my hand, but he missed, and it got me in the cheek instead. And I screamed in pain because half my face was ripped off. And I heard another shatter and thought that it was a trespasser. But I did not have time to worry about the trespasser. I was trying to kill Jeff the killer. So I killed Jeff. But Jeff said, "Back up, huh? Don't worry. I'll kill him." But what Jeff didn't know was that the imposter kicked the door open and Jeff was slammed against my bed. The trespasser was a girl with long hair, and she was wearing a creepy mask. But Jeff was not satisfied with. Was not satisfied at all being hurt. Why would he be? As he was chuckling and saying, "Ah, Jane, you look more beautiful than ever with that mask and fake wig." I was really startled, and said, "Jane, is that you?" And she replied and said, "Yes. Yes, it's me, Jane Everlasting, here to kill Jeff. Now stay out of the way." Yes, it's me. I asked her how she knew Jeff was here, but she didn't reply at all because Jeff had a trick up his sleeve. He kicked Jane into the stomach and got a knife and threw it at me, but I dodged it. And then he threw another, but I didn't dodge, and it went into the side of my eye. So what fuck is happening? Like, it went to the side of my eye, so it didn't go to my brain. I think you're misremembering it. I think it did indeed, like, get lodged deep into your brain, which explains the fucking story that we're reading right now. I screamed in agony and forget about the pain and fought against it, and I charged at Jeff and speared him in the torso. Okay, kid's a wrestling fan. And I kept stabbing him in the shoulder, and I was about to stab him in the brain when he punched me in the face and tripped me, and was about to stab Jane in the brain. What happened to Jane? Because she got kicked in the stomach once. Where was she? But I got up and threw the knife at his hand, and he was holding the knife, and it got him, and he screamed, "Next time you will not be so lucky," and he bailed. As I said, I told Jane, "Don't worry, Jane, I weekend him. So next time we will get our vengeance." And Jane replied, "But you're injured and half of your face is ripped off by the knife you threw for some reason, so you only have one good eye." "I know, Jane, but it doesn't matter. I am one of the killers now. This is my story. Draw my face if you think you can describe me." Credited to Amir, the Sorrow Killer. My goodness. What was erotic fan? Okay. I mean, there's nothing sexual about this. Shut up. So, that was that was the new killer. It was something. Amir. Hey, Jeff has fans internationally. What kind of name is that? Amir name. Arabic. Ah, hey, fellow. Another fellow with an Arabic first name. Hold on, what? I didn't even notice that. I am one of the killer is now. The time is now. You can't see me. That was groovalicious. I'm feeling different. I also have that I turn off the fucking air conditioner to kind of make sure that everything that there was no background hum. So I think I'm gonna call it a night. I don't know where I'll be honest. I realistically don't know where we can go from there. Like, I think we've reached peak quality content on this channel. I don't think we'll ever find a Jeff the Killer story better than this one right here. Oh, let me see. Is there anything else we can like read real quick? Jeff the Killer. How long is this? I remember Jeff the Killer vs. Slenderman being really long. Oh, this was... Well, to be fair, like, I'm glad you got me back on track from ranting about some random dickhead on DeviantArt. That was, like, most of the stream, and I haven't read that many Jeff the Killer stories. What's this? Wait, how? I wish there was something to show how soon these things are posted. Did the Killer Part 1 The Shadows? Okay. The streets were dark and cold. In the shadows, a man in black cloak walked around, searching for the nearest train to Alaska. He was Jeff the Killer. He had recently received a death threat from a mysterious man. It said, "Hello, Jeff the Killer. Hello, Jeff. I have been watching you for some time. I want to I want to kill you. Meet me in Alaska." Well, so Jeff the Killer is on a train to Alaska because he got a fucking note from someone saying, "Hey, fart me RL, pussy." Jeff wondered who it could be. He stopped and snuck into someone's house. He smelled blood. Who could have beaten him there? Suddenly he had a flashback to his brother crying for mercy as Jeff viciously murdered him. He got another note, and Jeff ran. The bullies... The bullies? Like, imagine being a serial killer and still getting bullied. That's kind of... It's kind of weird, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, you think, like, oh, I've become the stuff of internet legend. Like, hey, look, is that pussy Jeff? Like, imagine, like, you're not even getting, like, schoolyard bullies. Like, you get bullied by other serial killers, like, more prolific. Ted Bunnies are like, oh, what's up, nerd? Like, I killed 10 people today. Only 10, pussy? Can you take a train to Alaska? That sounds like a cool scenic ride. Yeah, it does, actually. Right in the second section of your page here. What? Is this like a people like adding on to the stuff? That seems like a bad idea. Right, the second section, Jeff said, I knew what I have to display of that morning that dares to challenge me! Jeff and his anger issues always blows up his cover when a guy walked behind Jeff. Then he gets shot with a tranquilizer dart. Jeff fell to the ground. Jeff woke up when the man said, This cell is for class this cell is for class A jerks." Jeff said, "Who are you?" And the man said, "I'm Jake. Owls captured me." And then Jeff saw a crack in the wall. Then Jeff had a plan. He busted down the wall. And then him and the man escaped. And Owls just AOS Jeff jail. And the man said, "Where are we gonna go? Our separate ways. See you, Jeff." And then Jeff said, "See you around." And they walked away. Jeff never backs down from a fight, even when it severely inconveniences them. I'm having a good time. Are you guys having a good time? Boy howdy, I sure am. Hold on, I need to sort some things out, folks. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna take care of some paperwork here. Oh god, my head. My throat hurts from laughing so hard. This has been a hearty afternoon filled with laughter and merriment. Okay. I just need to make sure that everything's working properly. Pretty women. Fascinating. Lovely, pretty women. Jeff escaped Helgen and they parted ways. I'm not even kidding around. Like, Alaska's always been an area where I wanted to, like, actually live at. No joke. Or at the very least, like I don't know. Like, I'm not a people person, so I just imagine like being there and like getting away from it all, having a nice piece of land, and don't come onto my property or else. And I like the cold. Okay, is there anything else? Is there any... Oh, Jeff the Killer ritual. Hold on. You need the following items for the spell. Did it load? Jeff, I am waiting. It's okay. So if you want to summon Jeff the Killer, this is all you need. You need a kitten. I need to find a what. I thought that video was warped for a second. There's got to be more Jeff the Killer stories we can. Something that's relatively short. Him. I was going in, and the only thing that was inside my mind was, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I knew he was coming, but I was still freaked out when he showed up. I could only think about his face, those eyes, no eyes. I didn't even realize that I was lost until I heard the noise, his noise. And now is the beginning of a unique truth. If you are ready for it, then why don't you go into the forest and find him, and don't go to sleep. That wasn't very good. I mean, I feel like that was... It feels weird to say that was legit better than most of the other Jeff the Killer stories we've read so far. You need to get a kitten to summon Jeff the Killer, because Jeff won't show up unless you can show him some kawaii images. What the fuck is the mental sign, aka taken hostage? What? What is this? What the fuck? There are more of these? Hold on, let's see. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna cover this. This is too long for now, but I'll cover this another time. I'll see if it... Who knows? This might be the one quality thing of Jeff the Killer, but I did not expect to find this. I'm gonna bookmark this. I'm gonna save that for another time. Trying to find a short story to end this stream. I gotta end this stream on a high note, baby. Oh god, I forgot how long the original Jeff the Killer story is. Why is there two categories? Just Jeff and Jeff the Killer. White the Killer. Okay. Friends call me White. But I have never known why. In fact, my skin was not white and cadaverous, but was gold and smooth. My eyes were dark, while my hair was brown, middle length, with a forelock. My age, more or less 14. I was sociable. I was a sociable and solar girl. Oh god. I immediately, like, that's the amazing thing about stories like this. The moment that they're involved, like a character like Jeff the Killer or whatever, like there's two red flags that immediately got triggered with me. It was the describing your physical appearance right off the bat, and the fact that it's a female, like a female character. I'm like, oh fuck, White the Killer, fucking, what's it called? Stormfront the Killer. David Duke the Killer. Oh god, Fuck me. You can tell I've been a little bit into it tonight. By age more or less 14, I would like to imagine that was a response that Jason Aina got when he asked what his erotic roleplay partner's age was before he like, oh, whatever. Like, how old are you? I'm more or less 14. Oh, okay. Just wanted to know. Let's continue. By the way, my character says, ooh, woo, let me eat your ass. It was a sunny Saturday, and I had programmed a day to spend time with my friend. Who talks like this? Oh, sorry. I skipped one part. I lived quietly in one of the houses of the district where with my parents and my older brother and sister, at least until that day. I was stretching my body in the bed when I saw that it was late, so I woke up and prepared fast. Wearing first clothes I had in my hand. Okay, after a few time, I went out of my house wearing black shoes and collant. Collant? What is a natural thing? Oh, tights. Okay, whatever. I'm not familiar with that term, I guess. Shorts and a gray vest. I ran until I get the crossing of two streets near my house, where I met my two friends, Emily and Jack. The first one was shy and friendly person with short and black hair, and the other one was dark and gloomy. But we agreed between us that he had two wonderful eyes. These were blue and deep. Between the two of you. So what, does Jack agree? Like, yeah, my eyes are pretty cool. My eyes are pretty awesome. Didn't you know that this story was written by an AI? Yeah, it was programmed. Come on now, keep up. That day, he wore a pair of jeans and, to change, a black sweatshirt and a hood. Sorry, I am late, I said, panting. I was thinking that you never come, admitted. What? Why are you not using quotation marks? Why are you using... Okay, whatever. At least you actually have the courtesy to differentiate spoken word with fucking descriptive language. Or just, descriptions and whatnot. I was thinking that you never come... Sorry. Admitted sarcastically, Jack. Is that like the fucking Splenderman type parody of Laughing Jack? Sarcastically, Jack? Come on, let's go. I am nervous to begin our day, Emily urged. So we started to walk. We spended the morning in the city, buying in cool shops and watching a movie at the cinema. We had lunch while we were talking. Suddenly, Emily exclaimed, I have an idea. Recently, a new torture museum. What? Is that? I need to find. Is that a real thing? That's. The song sounds like Gangsta Paradise. That's why I like pause. Is that an actual thing? I'm gonna look it up right now. Of course, again, incognito. Oh shit. It is. Yeah, a torture museum. It's a fucking... I don't know, like a museum dedicated to that? It's a like medieval type thing. Okay. Well, it has opened, and there are lots of machines to go on. I like to go there. I felt a strange statement, so I asked her, laughing, What? Jack has influenced you with these gruesome things? Come on, stop it, Emily replied, annoyed. Come, follow me. At last, I surrendered, and I left her to make we go to that sad place, but exciting at the same time. I feel like I'm playing fucking Pokemon Vietnamese Crystal. I just picked the story out of the clear blue. Just as we entered, we saw a huge guillotine. I noticed a small, creepy smile on Jack's face that made me feel a little uncomfortable, but I did not give him too much importance. We continued the route of the museum for a lot of time, observing fast and effective or tortures capable of causing slow and dying deaths. I don't even know what to say. It kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? Jack began to agitate in front of them, and I did not like it. Suddenly, a loudspeaker issued a woman's voice that advised the closing of the museum, and she said that we all had to go from the museum in a minus of 10 minutes. I urged my friends to be fast, but Jack was careful to contemplate those terrible instruments while Emily was writing something about the machines. They said to me to start to go out from that place, and that in few time they would come out. This is unquestionably someone who English is not their first language. I can't see it as any other reason. Like, this is someone who's like, English is not their first language, and they decided to write a story in their native language, and someone translated it for them poorly. Almost 4 minutes after closing, and the sky was already dark. The museum was enormous, and I was nervous. And while I was looking for someone who worked in the museum, I got lost by the rooms, like it was a labyrinth. I called my friends, but I did not obtain any reply. Absolute silence. Suddenly, the lights of the museum were turned off, and I remained in the darkness. I remained into the darkness, listening the closing of doors of the infrastructure. My heart started to pulse fast, and luckily I had a good night view that made me not banging against the windows. At the same time, I saw a dark, tall shadow passing from the window with irregular steps. I remained stationary for a few times, but then I suddenly heard a scream. Emily! I exclaimed, running. I arrived in a small room where filtrated fuel moonlight through the window. First, I saw Jack with a long knife extracted from somewhere. He had raised the hood to hide himself. I rotated to the look, and what I saw was horrible. Emily on a torture machine. She was completely damaged and dripping blood, and above all, with a hole in the rib cage where there was the heart. In that moment, disappeared. I retreated and fell to the ground for the fear. I crossed the look of Jack, and his mouth were dirty by the blood. He had eaten my friend's heart. He jumped on me with the knife, whispering, "Now, my dear, tell me, my dear, who is the macabre one?" His grip was firm, but suddenly my fear became desperation and anger. For the first time, I felt strangely. The heart began to pulse irregularly, and a negative energy invaded my body. With a new force, I fended against him and attacked him, observing his beautiful eyes, and that had to be mine. So, stealing his knife, I pulled out his eyes, making him shout like a hell. And then I stabbed him in one leg, but with a punch he made me leave his knife. Remaining there was useless, so I crashed the window and fell out of the museum without too much damages. I saw again that tall thing pull one of his arms through the crash window, and I continued to run to arrive at home. The door would not open, so I broke the other window to go in my house. Inside, the was dark. I called my parents, but the place was strangely deserted. By the time, by that time, I was ready to go, ready to everything, pure adrenaline, and charge, and indeterminable invaded my body. I went into the kitchen because I was hungry. What? What the fuck? What? Wait, what? Okay, yeah, good night, Kenzie. Been nice having you on the stream. And I will at some point take a look at your Empress Teresa readings. I don't know, I'm just lazy. I haven't really been paying attention to anything nowadays. Have a good night and stay safe. And remember to wash your hands. Okay. Where were we? I went to bed because I was hungry. Then I opened the fridge and found only some livers, a heart, kidneys, and too much blood. It smeared everything. I covered my mouth with the hand to not shout when I saw a paper fall from the fridge. Dear White, thanks for the amazing day. Now you feel alone, right? No problem. I will accompany you. Signed by what the fuck? Eyeless Jack. Okay. How much further? Okay, we got 2 more paragraphs. 3 more paragraphs. The paper trembled in my hands. How could he put it there if he was all the day with me? I noticed something on the windowsill. A big white hand clinged securely. I took a bit knife and cut at it. That the being that which did not belong him into similar to an otherworldly thing, the same grimace that a monster does when it eats a human. I backed and slammed it against someone, and when I turned and saw Jack, or better, Eyeless Jack, he wanted his eyes, and I did not want to leave them. I put them in front of his face, whispering, "Do you want him, huh?" He wore a blue mask, too. We began to stab the other one. I was liberating this negative energy, which looked without end. Suddenly he blocked me against the wall and began to incise me to his face and drew a cutted smile on my face, and from lots of blood was expelled, and he incised me with the profile of my eyes, prolonging it. The pain was atrocious, and the blood and tears mixed with them, and with a nudge I dismissed him and ran to the upper floor shouting. I entered the bathroom and closed the well door. Wait, so they used the all creepypastas living at mansion owned by Slenderman crap? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I know Eyeless Jack was apparently friends with this bitch and wanted to drag her friends to a torture museum so he could kill them because I don't know. The few times I saw myself in the mirror, I could see how I was after all those battles. My clothes were tattered and blood soaker. Some strands of hair, my hair were dirty. My eyes were bloodshot, and they were not dark like before, the irises had become red. My face was stained with blood, but the most different thing was the glands. The pupils were become smaller. I was become mad. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that in my memory banks if I remember it. I put the knife at the belt, and I did something that made me be lethal. I took a rasp and milled my teeth, which became what? And milled my. You mean you filed them? Which became pointed. I opened the door of the bathroom and bited Jack. It was a wonderful feeling. What are you, fucking Tombstone from Spider-Man? He made me go to the nearest door with his knife, and he followed me, bumping into objects for the blindness. We continued to fight into the kitchen. Like, I like how you let her get a timeout too. Like, oh, she needs to use the bathroom. I gotta be fair about it. We continued to fight in the kitchen until the moment where we entered the hall. Into the tall being who I saw earlier. The being with hand I cut it. It was Slender Man. He stopped the fight, and Jack was covered by a black substance, which I observed, and then I fainted. I awoke early in the morning. And I found a bed made of leaves with my knife at the belt. It was wood. Slenderman stole us. I watched all around me and discovered that I was not alone. There were other guys with me, guys who had my same fate. I wore strange masks like the other guys. I stood up slowly, trying to understand the Sikuakan. I become a proxy. For some week, I worked for Slenderman with the other boys, killing and murdering. I met new people too. For example, a nice but strange guy named Toby that fell in love with me, but I did not care. I wanted to escape. One morning, I took off the mask and ran through the wood. The wood. During the spirits. I thought that's a spirit for a second. Sprint. I bumped into another guy whose name had the same idea. His skin was white and the black was hair long. His eyes were light blue and his smile was bloody. We were both killers, so we began to fight until the moment we decided to stop. To not do too much noise. We spent a lot of time together. I discovered the guy's name was Jeff. First, I was not friendly with him, but I waited a few times. Now Jeff and I are friends, and we often kill together. And we look for a girl named Jane to murder her. Now I'm a famous killer with the name White the Killer. Dallas Jack continues to follow, looking for me to get his eyes, which I now use like earrings. And Slenderman and his proxies are looking at me to enter again in his team, but it is not the end. And remember, Jack, I'll find you before you could find me. I like a terrible spelling as a category. So there's some stuff. There's only 2 stories. Jeff returns in this. Oh God. This is wonderful. Oh, are you guys sufficiently spooked? Like, I know this is supposed to be scary, but all I'm envisioning is that fucking Wizard Horse cartoon from Film Cal. It's like with the Google glasses. Is like this girl's like in her living room trying to relax, and Jeff is like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, okay, let me just zoom in. Like, are you taking pictures of me? Like, no, I'm just here. Okay, let me see that crotch. Okay. This has been a trip. I need to go. I need to get some water. Wait, what did you say? With a kiss mark on it. No, I think that's just a reflection. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and to, I guess, cap it off, I don't know. I'm gonna play the song. I think I can play the instrumental version. I don't know if it has any copyright on it. I want to end this off on I don't know, a positive note, but I want to say rest in peace, DMX. You know, I loved his music, and he seemed like a really interesting guy. His death wasn't really all that shocking to me. Like, there was some news about it some time ago, like about a week ago, that he was in the hospital, and I kind of had the feeling his days were numbered, but it still sucks. So we're gonna end this Jeff the Killer stream with a song, a tribute to my boy, and I hope you guys had a good time. So let me find something. I don't know how to work these images. What can I put on here? Oh, no, Squidward. Yeah, well, why not Squidward? That looks cool, actually. Hope you guys had a good night. Have a good night, at least. Let me just stop. Drink